Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm hoping everything is functioning correctly. I'm not having like any errors or anything. I think we're good. Everything seems to be good, ostensibly. Well, I'll tell you what, let's talk about what we're going to hit, shall we? I don't look too... My colors aren't weird, are they? Do I look like weird, or does it look okay? I just want to make sure I don't have to adjust the colors or anything here, because it's a mess sometimes. I'm working on a program right now. I used to be a programmer long ago. I'm not anymore, really, but look a bit blue. Okay. Is that bad? Is that good or bad? Is it okay? You're looking weird. It's unrelated to the colors. Oh, I appreciate that. Look normal to me. Okay, good. Anyway, I used to be a programmer, and it's been a while since I've done any programming, but I've decided to write a program, and I'm making a lot of good progress, and I'm using AI to help me write it, basically. Because back in the day, I absolutely hated designing user interfaces. It was the absolute worst. Oh my God, it's awful. And so I'm using AI to basically like design the front end and everything else. And it's, hang on. Yeah, okay, we're good. And is working pretty well, actually, really well, in fact. So the program has two separate home screens at this immediate moment. There's the download screen and the edit screen. And edit allows me to cut frames off the front of a video, cut frames off the end of a video, shift the audio left or right. Some of the other things it does. It also lets me... oh my God, I just added... Oh yeah, re-encode in like different frames per second, different resolution, you know, MP4 or whatever. And I'm about to add a feature to let me... like you can add a green screen with this, apparently. Like I had no idea this program was so powerful. I'm talking about FFmpeg, the command line program I'm using. So I'm automating a lot of that. In the download screen, I have a program called YT-DLP that downloads any video from the internet anywhere ever. And so I'm writing this thing where I can just type in a bunch of URLs and it will download all of the videos to my downloads folder and like encode them in MP4 and everything else. And yeah, so I'm super excited about that. It's going to like make my life so much easier. Plus this other command line program I'm working into mine, Auto Editor, cuts out blank spaces and exports my Final Cut Pro file or whatever, so that I can like just erase parts that are coughing or, you know, boring for any other reason. Anyway, super convenient, super excited about getting it all working finally. But I'll tell you what, let's talk about this stuff, shall we? Been working on it for about a week, and it should be done in the next 3 days, 4 days. I'll probably always add features. Maybe I'll put it on GitHub. That'd be cool, right? Would you look at that? I'm a member for 31 months over here. That's crazy, right? Oh my God. 31 months. That is absolutely nuts. Welcome, Robert Adset, also. Okay, let's talk about this, shall we? This is Tom McDonald. He's a MAGA rapper, and he made a song called They Can't Cancel All of Us. Oh my God, dude. These people live in a fantasy land where they're like persecuted 24/7. Oh, I cut out the music, so it's only vocals for copyright reasons.
They told me, be a man, boy, tough enough. Then they let women become men. They tricked me.
Okay, sorry. Wow. That is an interesting... Are you telling me that you fell in love with a trans person and you went on 3 dates, and on date number 3, you didn't realize this, but they were trans, and you slept with this person, and you were none the wiser, and you just continued, and you had like a wife, you got married, and when you have that hard conversation a year and a half in, where you're talking about having kids, because, you know, you had your dog to prepare to, you know, practice for kids or whatever, And your wife says, sorry, I'm actually like, I was born let me rephrase, I was born male. I hope that doesn't bother you. This dude is unironically complaining about being tricked. Did that happen to you? Were you tricked? Did somebody pretend to be a woman to try to win your heart over or something? So we're like 5 seconds in, and this is already absurd.
Then they let women become men. They tricked me. They told me, speak your mind if you're brave enough. And I spoke up and I got canceled quickly.
No, he didn't. Tom McDonald, are you shitting me? He's one of the biggest MAGA rappers ever. You weren't canceled for anything. And for the record, not wanting to let me think about how to phrase it. Not wanting to contribute your buying power to a person or an organization because they're a fucking nutcase is not canceling you. It's me making a personal choice with my personal money. There isn't some large weaponized movement that's formed by George Soros or something that sets out to like cancel people that they don't like or something. It's like fictitious nonsense. Also, MAGA is the biggest cancel culture, quote unquote, group imaginable. I'm sorry, we're taking a detour here for a second. I've got to. Hold on. Let me pull this up real fast. Boycott. Yeah, here we go. It's like that one time Forgiato Blow, another MAGA rapper, and Jeremy Levy, also a MAGA rapper, decided to boycott Target and Bud Light. You guys remember that?
Yeah. Attention shoppers. Yeah. There's a cleanup on every aisle. Yeah. Target is targeting your kids.
They found literally nothing in this Target store that was upsetting in any way, shape, or form, but they rapped about it anyway.
They put a target on my back, but they targeting your kids. They don't even need to ask, cause you all know what it is. Yeah, that's why.
Sad, because it's got a good beat.
I think it's just showing what the world needs. Like I said, it all starts with the children. Somebody has to stand up for the kids. Somebody has to stand up for the children.
And this tattooed shithead is going to be the guy to do it, huh?
That's where they start with, this agenda with the younger group.
Anyway, the point is, MAGA rappers just live in this fantasy world, this delusional fantasy, where they are the victims of absolutely everything, when they are the ones that are doing the victimizing, that are perpetrating what they're complaining about. Okay, I don't have a problem with people using their free speech to boycott companies. I think it was dumb as dog shit for them to boycott Target and Bud Light and stuff like that. It was literally over nothing. But okay, hey, it's your American right to do it. But don't complain about cancel culture if you are going to do that type of shit. It's nonsense. All right, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. Let's listen. You know what? When I edit this, I'm going to play the first 20 seconds of it at the very beginning of the video, and then I'm going to do my analysis afterwards so it doesn't feel like it's all, squished together. Maybe the first 30 seconds.
They told me, be a man, boy, tough enough. Then they let women become men. They tricked me. They told me, speak your mind if you're brave enough. And I spoke up and I got canceled quickly. We were always too young and too nice. And now
MAGA, renowned for being too nice. Totally. Absolutely. That checks out.
we were always too young and too nice. And now we're too old and too white. Yeah.
They're too old and too white? Is that what he just said? You think that you're too white? And people are complaining about that? Brother, I'm white. I don't give a fuck if you're white. Why would anybody give a shit? This is more persecution complex trash. Hang on. Nobody gives a fuck, okay? Get a grip on reality. I'm begging you.
Either too left or too right. Well, we're speaking our minds tonight. Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us.
Who the fuck are these people? Some dude carrying a what is this, a smoothie? What is happening?
Can't cancel all of us. You're standing here side by side.
Oh my God, not her. Wasn't she the press secretary in the first term or something? It's not Kayleigh McEnany. No. Is that Laura Trump? No, that's not. Yeah, is that Laura Trump? I think it is. Yes, that is Laura Trump. Wow, dude. Oh my God. All right, let's keep listening. I have something I want to say. I'll say it in a minute.
And you can't cancel all of us. You run the stars and stripes.
Who is trying to cancel these people? Honestly, is there like a mobilized movement to cancel him?
But you can't cancel all of us. The internet ain't real life. They told me, be a man, boy, just like your dad. And told me everything I am is toxic.
Who told you that? Who said that? He's obviously referring to toxic masculinity. When people hear that word, they don't actually know what it means. They think that it means being a man is toxic. That's not the case. It's stuff that hurts men. Like, this is a men's rights issue. You should be in favor of research into the concept of toxic masculinity because it makes people weaker and it hurts them, makes their lives harder. Like, not expressing your emotions. Like, you're not allowed to cry in front of anybody if you're a man or at all. That's toxic. You got to talk to somebody about your emotions sometimes, right? And Tom McDonald here, I guess he lets his emotions out in his songs. But that's not very manly in the eyes of, like, a MAGA nutcase, apparently. Toxic masculinity. I don't get, like, what their hang-up is with this.
They said the color of your skin doesn't make you bad, but mine makes me racist. Got it.
No. The color of your skin does not make you racist.
You were always too weak and too afraid, and now we're too male and too straight. You're either too real or too fake. Well, we're speaking our minds today. 'Cause you can't.
Dude, did they get like a 12-year-old to throw their finger up? Oh my God.
'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side. And you can't
Oh God, Kevin Sorbo, dude.
cancel all of us. You run the stars and stripes. But you can't cancel all of us.
Oh my God, no. This is the guy from Pawn Stars. I'm so sad to find that out. I didn't realize he was a right-wing nutcase. That's heartbreaking. That show is really interesting.
But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause the internet ain't real life. You can take my job.
Okay, he's going into another hook. Oh my God, look at this dude. This is the best. This is top tier shit right here. I am a big fan of this haircut. I think everybody should be forced to have this haircut or they're not real MAGAs. Anyway, I was listening to a debate earlier. All right, let me start that over. I've been reading this book about how to do TV interviews, basically, like how media training or whatever. And here's the bottom line with it. You need to go in with a message that you're trying to communicate. For example, this is the example the book gives. Let's say you're trying to get a bill passed and garner public support for this bill that eliminates malpractice laws for doctors. They're no longer beholden to, malpractice or whatever. They can't be sued for malpractice basically at all. So how do you change that, or how do you get public opinion on your side for something so corrupt, brazen, and disgusting? The answer is find the good thing in it. Whatever good thing it could possibly be. Anything. The example he gives is 7% of pregnant women in Pennsylvania are 100 miles or more away from their obstetrician. And they pretend that this is because of like malpractice laws and stuff. And they also pretend that if the malpractice laws were lifted, that would change. So you have to go into these interviews with three things. In addition to your overall message, you need to go in with anecdotes, statistics, and sound bites. Anecdote would be like, Sally here has been pregnant for 3 months and she can't find a blah, blah, blah. Statistics are things like 7% of women are, 100 miles away or more from their obstetricians. And the soundbite would be something really catchy that kind of reframes the situation to be something that's completely 100% obvious. Like, having doctors 100 miles away from the patient is like keeping Band-Aids at a friend's house. You come up with a bunch of these little sound bites. You just keep repeating them over and over and over again, basically. Stay on message in interviews. So the reason let's bring it back to what we were talking about here. I was going through Fox News, just watching some stuff, and I found that, particularly on Laura Ingram's show, it is all sound bites like that. All of it. Every last bit. It is one of those three things. It is anecdotes, false statistics, or sound bites directed toward making Donald Trump the most revered and admired human being on planet Earth. It's just like when you are bombarded with, oh yeah, and you know what else they do in addition to that? It's full black and white, good and evil type of talk. Like, for example, somebody is like planning a conspiracy to rob a bank, and they're working with this person, or they're planning to hire a hitman to kill somebody. We'll go with that one. They're planning to hire a hitman to kill somebody, and they're caught in the act. Fox News would frame it as, what, people aren't allowed to like text plans with their friends anymore? You're complaining about people texting plans with their friends? That is literally the excuse that Jesse Waters gave for why Pete Hegseth and JD Vance and the other people were discussing war plans on their iPhones. People can't text their friends? Frame everything that you're doing as banal and unoriginal and normal and boring, and everything that the other side is doing is evil and sick and depraved and demented, and they're broken and all of this other stuff. And it has to be constant, a constant stream of it. You can never let up on the charade for a minute, because a sizable chunk of the United States gets all of their news from Fox News, because they don't even realize that Fox News isn't news. They think that, they get home from work, sit down in their chair, turn the TV on, and they're just sitting there listening for an hour or whatever a day, and then find out what's happening in the world, and then go about their business. And that's all they're getting is a constant barrage of lies, of black and white, good and evil, soundbite, statistic, anecdote, trash, 24/7. And all of their older friends that they know are getting the exact same soundbite, statistic, anecdote, trash injected into them. Anytime they speak to anybody in any context ever, anywhere, it's always that. And that is how we got to a point where these people believe that trans people control the government. I mean, it's an insane thing to even say, but these people don't like exit their little chamber and see the world for themselves at all, ever. And the more people believe something, or let me rephrase, the higher number of people that believe something, the more credible the belief system is. You know, anti-vax sentiment used to be like, relegated to nutcases on the internet. Nobody actually bought any of that. But as the Trump movement started integrating that anti-vax sentiment into their messaging, it got more and more and more popular, and now it's a mainstream belief that everybody has, or at least everyone has thoughts on. So the point is that the MAGA movement is in an echo chamber that is nearly impossible to pierce. That is how we've come to the point where we are now, that these people literally believe that they are under attack when the MAGA movement is the group that is hurting people. Like, exactly flipped. 180 degrees.
You can take my job away for something I may have said online. But
well, you know, you call somebody a Nazi. I'm sorry. You know, you call somebody the N-word and you say, I am a Nazi, quote unquote. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe you should lose your job for that shit. But again, Fox News zeroes in on this anecdote of this happening to somebody and blows up the statistics and pretends that liberals are getting all of these people fired from their jobs and all this other shit. Like, they're feeding this in this black and white, I don't even know what the word is to refer to this black and white anecdote statistics soundbite formula. My mom says Fox is too woke for her and literally has Real America's Voice and OAN on 24/7 on TV and on her radio when she's sleeping. It's just, sometimes I wonder how people got here to here. That is how that happened. It's wild.
But you can't control a man who won't comply. And you can call me
Like, brother, no one's trying to make you comply to anything.
every name that you might think will hurt my pride. But if you think you're stopping me, you're out your mind.
But stopping you from what? I don't want you to be a Nazi. I don't want literal Nazis around. That's my main complaint. Are you going to be a literal Nazi?
'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause we're standing here side by side. And you can't cancel all of us, you can burn the stars and stripes. But you can't cancel all of us, 'cause the internet ain't real life. 'Cause you can't cancel all of us, and you're more than welcome to try. But you can't.
New album releasing. Okay, I guess we've entered advertising territory. Anyway, wow, dude. Wow. Benny Johnson. Kid Rock? Was that Kid Rock? Yeah. No, is that Kid Rock? I can't even tell who that is. No, I don't know who that is. Who is that? Is Kid Rock not in here? LA native patriot. I'm not sure who some of these people are, but they're all psychotic. Anyway, you know, on this note, something I found kind of disturbing that I was paying attention to recently is every time I post a community post, somebody is arguing with it. Somebody at the bottom will be like calling me a cuck or some other stupid shit, right? And so I've been posting like the most obvious shit imaginable lately to see what people argue against. Like, here's one of my posts. Let me pull it up. Hold up. Okay. Trump is upset about some painting, but is completely unaware that his supporters are running around calling him Jesus. Obviously, he's fully aware his supporters are doing that. But the point is, this painting thing is way less visible on a societal level than all of these trucks moving around with Donald Trump as Jesus Christ on the back. I continue. You'd think he'd want to set the record straight to save lost souls from blaspheming. I guess not. And without fail, every time there's somebody in the comments arguing with me about it. How long have I been streaming now? 27. All right. I should probably wrap it up soon then. You know what? I might split this into 2 videos. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. Absolutely wild. All right. Yeah, I might break it off there, like at the end of the video, and turn this going through my comments section its own video. That could be interesting, I think. Trying to get to the bottom. Damn, this is a long thread. Holy Christ on a cracker, bro. Where's the bottom? I just want the bottom of this post. Really? YouTube, give me the bottom already. Damn. Yeah, I'm still not at the bottom. How am I not at the bottom of this yet? Holy Christ, dude. How many comments are on this thread? 600. Okay, that's not so bad. All right, here we are. Okay. Let's look at like some of the older comments or the least popular ones. Can I sort by controversial on YouTube? I don't think so. Sort by... Nah. I'll sort by... Let's see. Usually to find the real crazy ones, you got to go down to where they're not being liked anymore. You got like 1 like. Hold on. He's looking for where the crazy starts. Golden calf and false prophets. He'd be insulted. He thinks he's God, right? I think that picture looks like him. Oh, that's unrelated. Hold on. These people know nothing of Christ. Yikes, these people are basically calling him the Antichrist. How can you call yourself a Bible-believing Christian and miss this? I personally believe religious people are primed to accept the Antichrist. I also believe organized religion is the work of the devil. Look, y'all do you. I'll be over here with my eyes open in the spiritual community while y'all call me a devil worshiper. Total hypocrites. Enjoy the mark. Yeah, like, I don't believe in any of this, Bible or whatever, but if I did, I would absolutely 100% believe that Donald Trump was the Antichrist. Without question. It's like somebody handed him a list of shit he needed to do to be considered the Antichrist, and he starts checking them off. Intentionally. Hold on. I'm really hoping to find the crazy ones. Damn, I can't find any of the crazy ones on here. He is... No, he is not. More like the opposite of Jesus. Well, I can't find any of the crazies on this one, but I do have some crazies on another that I wanted to pull up here. Hold up. Where is it? I wrote... Okay. All right, here's another comment thread, if it's going to pull up. Any second now. Okay, there we are. This one has 660 comments. Wow. I said, we aren't on our way to 1933 Germany. We are there. No hedging, no exceptions, no caveats. The Republican Party is the new Nazi party. It is time to start hiding people. or at least start making plans with the most vulnerable in your community. There is no disputing that. That is absolutely, completely, and totally 100% the fact. Germany in 1933, Nazis were very unpopular in Germany leading up to 1933. It was a protest vote to vote for Hitler. He lost the election, but he was eventually installed chancellor down the line. He was installed as chancellor by the guy that really won, Paul von Hindenburg. And it took him something like, I think, 53 days to dismantle democracy completely. It was as rapid as what we are seeing right now. And it started January 30th, I think, or 31st, 1933. Ours started January 20th, and everything started going downhill. By March, there was another special election for the Reichstag, and there was a big fire that was not started by Nazis or Hitler or whatever. It wasn't even started by communists. It was some random disgruntled guy that started the fire, but Hitler used that moment to basically declare martial law and say, you know, we're gonna, these people are terrorists. The people who are opposing us, the communists, are terrorists. And we're going to round them all up. And of course, he was pretty liberal with his definition of communist. Anyway, I found some really crazy comments on this. Look at this. So I'm thinking to myself, like, there used to be a time when a lot of people would oppose anything that I said. What would it be in this case? This dude says, you should be shut down for your Trotsky-style fear-mongering and propaganda. What happened to freedom of speech? I guess that shit goes right out the window, doesn't it? Other than bio men not being allowed to abuse girls in sports, WTF are you even referencing? He's like conflating a bunch of shit. Nobody says that bio men are abusing girls in sport. What are you even talking about? You're just mixing all this shit up in your head. It doesn't even make any sense anymore. This trans people in sports thing is such a non-issue in the United States. It's completely irrelevant. But I went on to comment. I said, I thought you were in favor of free speech. I guess that's not the case. Somebody says, that's not even a thing. There are single-digit trans athletes. Someone else says, over 900 medals. I'm sorry. The original poster says, over 900 medals were taken away from girls nationwide last year by boys. I don't know where you get your info, but you aren't getting the facts. First of all, I seriously, deeply doubt that number. But okay, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's true. But he said medals for a reason rather than trans athletes. Because they have countless tournaments in countless like grades, high school and in college competition and semi-professional and professional and, across the entire world. And it doesn't matter where they're placed, 5,000th place out of 7,000 people competing. And suddenly there's a medal that gets added to this dude's calculation, trying to make it sound like it's this massive, ridiculous problem when it's not. It was never a problem. So I respond to it. He's counting anybody that's trans competing in any sports anywhere in the world. Not just that, but every single tournament, any placement. I doubt it's 900, but even if it is, wow, only 900. And people are losing their shit. It takes 15 minutes to count to 900. It takes 11 days to count to 1 million. It takes 31 years to count to 1 billion. And 280 years to count to 9 billion, the world population. Those 900 medals, not trans people, are starting to seem a lot less significant. Again, I want a source on that number. And every scientific study has said that 2 years of HRT negates any benefits one might have over somebody assigned female at birth. You are literally cheering for people to go to concentration camps and using this as an excuse. I was so curious how people are going to react to me saying that we're in 1933 Germany, because it's indisputable now. It is indisputable that the Nazi Party is now in control of the United States. And what did they say? You should be shut down for your propaganda. That's what they said. Here's another one. Except this time, complete extermination at warp speed. I don't know what that means. There were some other comments I want to see. Hang on. Okay, conspiracy theory much? Somebody says, it is reality. Someone else says, it's not a theory if they tell you openly what they want to do. And I responded, I'm not reading into things. I'm not foretelling the future. I'm not postulating what I think might happen. These things are literally actively happening. We are in a fascist regime. Here, someone else says, if you wanted to hide those who yell at others for not using their ridiculous pronouns they just made up, go ahead and feel free. Dude is coming up with a reason to hate trans people, even though this is like a caricature of what, like, nobody is actually doing this right now. Nobody's, like, trans people are not yelling at random people. This is another thing that Fox News has done to people. It's this media formula that has existed for, like, ever. I've talked about it very recently, but you have anecdote, statistic, soundbite. You need to work those three things into what you say on, like, a TV interview, for example. In fact, I did it here in this comment. I explained the statistic that this guy cited, and I gave a soundbite. Takes 15 minutes to count to 900, 11 days to count to 1 million, 31 years to count to 1 billion, so on and so forth. That would be a soundbite. And Fox News constantly feeds in these statistics, anecdotes, and sound bites that are warped and misleading nonstop into these people's heads. It's a constant bombardment of black and white. They're destroying everything and they hate you and they hope that you die. They hope you get cancer. I mean, the whole thing. All of it. That's all Fox News does. And so this guy, I'm, reading this in good faith, assuming that he is honestly saying this. If you want to hide those who yell at others for not using their ridiculous pronouns, assuming this is good faith, I'm going to tell you, this isn't really happening. People yelling at others for not using ridiculous pronouns or whatever. This is fictitious. It's a fictitious scenario that they just made up, pronouns they just made up. That's not real. And he obviously is not taking this situation as seriously as it warrants. People are literally being sent to literal, actual concentration camps. Full-blown slave labor concentration camps. The tantamount to what Germany had. El Salvador and Guantanamo Bay prisons. BS, stop spreading fear. Yes, times are here, but it is not time to hide. It's time to show up and show out. Wow, somebody upset with me for telling people they should be hiding others. Like, what? If there was somebody in my neighborhood that needed help, I would help them any way that I could. I hope that this video doesn't come back to bite me later when they're looking for people. Anyway, it's just wild to me that people can twist shit around so completely and totally and warp it into something that it was never meant to be. Now, my question is, how do we pierce this echo chamber? How do we get out of this? We're not getting out of this situation until MAGA is ideologically defeated. I don't want violence under any circumstances, ever. None. Zero. I don't want anyone's death. Don't wish that on anybody. But it took violence to get Germany out of the situation that they were in. It took violence to get Russia out of that situation. Well, I guess Russia didn't. No, the Soviet Union lasted until the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and it didn't take violence, I suppose. Violence is oftentimes required to pull a country out of an absolutely horrific moment, and I really hope to the bottom of my heart that that's not what we need here. But when Democrats win the presidency next and win the House and the Senate and everything, there can be no more hedging or both sidesing or not trying to give the appearance of blah, blah, blah. No more of that. We need to make laws to protect democracy at all costs, no matter what. In Reconstruction during the Civil War or after the Civil War, they pardoned a whole bunch of Confederate soldiers, Confederate officers and stuff, all the way up the chain, to try to mend fences. They shouldn't have done that. They should have charged them with the crimes that they committed. Treason, sedition, whatever. And given them the appropriate penalty for those charges. If they had done that all the way back then, we may not be here today dealing with a revived Confederate movement that has completely taken over everything. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. All right. Mark this gray and close group. Oh, yes, this. Oh, my God. I totally forgot about this. All right. Check this out. This is a MAGA grandpa. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add this into the other one, actually. This can go in the previous video, but I'll put this at the front, at the beginning, before I go through my comments and stuff. Yeah, that'll be good. Check out this MAGA grandpa. There was a time... I'm just going to let it play. Check out this MAGA grandpa here.
Well, do you think people should be able to seek asylum? Because one of these guys was doing that.
You can't seek asylum.
One of these guys, I think people sent to the concentration camp in El Salvador.
Why?
Because we're not going to be home. You guys are missing the whole point. Policy has changed. We are no longer going to be the home for the dredges of the world.
But don't you think these people should have some ability to have due process? They can literally, at this point, what they did this week.
No.
Okay, due process is you go through the court system to verify that you really did do these things, rather than being pulled off the street, thrown into a car, and then brought to a concentration camp, for example. Or put in prison for 30 years for sedition when you didn't get, nobody adjudicated. Were you the wrong person? Literally, you were just in the wrong spot at that moment and they grabbed the wrong guy? That's why due process is so important. This guy's saying no due process. Just grab him off the street, throw him in a car, bring him to a concentration camp. And I noticed that he's saying they should go home. That's not where they're sending them. Is this news to you? They're sending them to a hard labor camp, a forced labor camp, a slave labor concentration camp.
Did this week.
No, they can go home. They can go home and die.
So no one should get due process then. What if they make a mistake, as they have done this very week?
Only people who are going to get due process are the people Trump says is okay.
All of those people on that airplane, it said that
End of story.
They had investigated. They'd done the.
Okay, they're referring to a flight that they brought a bunch of people that they grabbed off the street, claimed they were undocumented immigrants, and sent them to a slave labor camp, a literal slave labor camp where they shaved their hair off and everything. It looked identical to images coming out of concentration camps in Germany. Identical. Let's see if I can pull this up. I didn't know that El Salvador was such a depraved, evil place up until now. Like, oh my God. Bukele is the dictator there, and it's like about as disturbing as it gets, truthfully. Holy Christ. Oh my God. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here. Yeah, this is the video. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. I'm just gonna kind of get the gist of it by watching the first few seconds. It's a propaganda film released by Donald Trump, by the White House. Again, the people, they're dragging. They haven't been through a court case. They haven't been brought in front of a judge. Nobody even knows if these are immigrants. Nobody even knows who these people are. They're just random people plucked off the street in the United States, for all we know, because they didn't have due process. It wasn't adjudicated. We don't know that this is in fact who it is. Why is this like lagging so much? This is a hard video. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Is my storage maxed out? What is happening? No. Is my memory maxed out? What? It's not. I don't understand. Whatever. Oh, it's because I'm pulling from the drive. That's why. All right, let me pull it over to my downloads here. Get a second. 15 megs. Estimating time remaining. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Sorry about that, guys. You know, when I was younger, I had a brother-in-law who was arrested once, and he had like a bad reputation, and I think maybe even had warrants out. I'm not sure. And he gave him the wrong name. He gave him his cousin's name and social security number and everything because he didn't want to get in trouble. He thought he'd spend a day in jail on his cousin's name and they'd let him out and all that. Well, it ended up, they worked it out or whatever, because he ended up going to court and they investigated and everything else, and they found that it wasn't actually the cousin. These people didn't get that. These people could be just randos that somebody used their name incorrectly or something. Like, this is footage that famously is identical to Nazi Germany. What we're about to see here, shaving their heads and shit like this. It's fucking horrifying, dude. These people, for all we know, are 100% completely innocent. And there actually are known innocent people there that we know for a fact that they are innocent, that they did not do what was claimed. One of them was an asylum seeker, documented, legal for him to be there. And they threw him in the El Salvador prison. Let me rephrase. He was seeking asylum because he's gay. And gay people face discrimination in Venezuela, I believe. And they threw him in El Salvador prison. These people are absolutely innocent, many of them. The vast majority, in fact, I would argue. Where was... Shoot, I just had the... Oh, got it. Close group. Close group. There we go. All right. Yeah. Anyway, so this woman, just to clarify, these flights went to El Salvador with those people we just saw. Those were the ones that were on those planes. A judge said, do not send those planes And if they're in the air, turn them around and bring those people back immediately. And Trump just ignored them. He sent them there anyway and got propaganda footage of it. They didn't have due process. And now these people are here saying this.
Are going to get due process.
Hold on.
What if they make a mistake, as they have done this very week?
Only people who are going to get due process are the people Trump says is okay.
These are like average, run-of-the-mill, your everyday MAGA grandpas. Like, this is shit that, you know, my grandpa would have said, for example, if he were still alive. Because they're, you know, Fox News just feeding them in this propaganda, and they're just taking it.
All of those people on that airplane, it said that
End of story.
they had investigated, they'd done the
You
due
quit your
diligence.
whining.
Well, you can tell me you investigated all you want, but they need to go through their judicial system. They need to go through due process.
And they were on that airplane for a reason.
The reason is Trump made this bold claim when he was running that he's going to deport 5 million people or whatever.
So now they got to find those people.
Exactly. And if you just don't look right, if you have a tattoo they don't like or don't understand.
That is why, yeah, the dude who was gay and sent to El Salvador, he had a tattoo. Not a specific tattoo, not like a teardrop or a spider web or like, the, you know, Tren de Aragua tattoo or whatever. No, a tattoo, just like a tattoo, like me. That's it.
You're getting on a plane to go to El Salvador, to a mega prison.
Good.
But these people aren't, in some cases, these people aren't gang members.
We don't care.
These are crimes against humanity.
I don't give a shit. Humanity needs to lose a few bods.
That is insane. That is where we are right now with people's heads. It's just wild. Anyway, actually, depending on how long that was, that might also be its own video. I don't know. I'll decide when the editing happens. Anyway, that is something else, man. That's what I named Boomer going full Nazi. Dude, somebody's car alarm is going off right now outside, and it has been for like 5 minutes. Hold on, I'm just looking here. See if I can find something interesting. Mediason. Hold on, I'm just looking through this subreddit because I think it seems kind of interesting. Colorado State Rep Paschal was seen coloring on her iPad during a debate on gun control. I don't have too much of a problem with that. I multitask all the time. I play games while I talk about serious shit. That's okay. I'm not too bent out of shape over that. It's kind of a mindless task. Wait, what's this? Local restaurant owners posted this a couple days ago. Needless to say, they're going through it right now. Wait, what's this? Hold up. My God, that car alarm. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to cut that out of the final product.
Darwell's, couples day at Darwell's. If you come in and you're a couple, no matter how long you've been together, dating,
Does that include gay couples?
married, if you're a couple, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend,
No boyfriend?
guy and girl, couple. The real kind of couple.
Oh, because we don't do the trans or the lesbians or gays. I'm sorry,
Couple.
that's down the street.
Okay, couple, when you come in for the next hour and a half and you are a couple, can produce a child couple, we'll give you something free. How you like that, folks?
Jesus Christ, dude. Get help. This is the kind of culture war trash that we have stooped to, if you will. This is where we are now as a culture. This is... Oh, thank fuck. The car alarm just stopped. This is the kind of culture war shit that the right is focused on. There's no policy to speak of. There's no, like... It's all culture war garbage. Not to keep bringing it back to this, but I wrote a book on this subject. Was Hitler an atheist? Culture war nonsense like this Happened in Germany in the lead up to their Democratic fall also. Identical.
If there was anyone...
But I want to know, why has Congress, including yourself, taken...
Yeah.
Senator, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Ma'am, did you...
Wait, I think I saw this. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and then there's this one right here, too. Apparently, my wife knows this area because she's from Nebraska, and that's where this happened, I believe.
Don't give a fuck, you dumb cunt. Take a picture. I'll get out of the car and pose for you. Dumb cunt. I don't give... Okay, take my license.
God, why is he so angry? You know why? Because she isn't moving away from the pump. She's sitting at the pump.
I certainly will.
Yeah, fuck you, cunt.
God, he likes that word, doesn't he? The old see you next Tuesday. We're getting out of the car.
You better get your ass moving, bitch.
Okay, I will.
That's when you call the police. People can't do that shit. We live in a society. DEI hires are not qualified to do their jobs. But Trump is 78, born rich, convicted felon, no political background, shits his pants, can't stay awake. Anyway, yeah, tell me what you think about it. I'm just like blown away by where we are politically now and where boomers have found themselves. Like, these people are willing to literally send people to concentration camps and justify that. And for what? What are they gaining? They're gaining nothing. They're just supporting Donald Trump. Before you know it, it's going to look like this right here. I posted this on my community tab too. This is just short-term pain for long-term gain. MAGA dude with a missing leg, chained up and hanging with the Statue of Liberty, the Scales of Justice lady, and Uncle Sam. Short-term pain for long-term gain. Let me know when you get any of that long-term gain there, MAGA. You know what? I might add this too. God, this is going to be a messy edit, but I might add this to the comment section reading too. In fact, this might be the first one. Yeah, I posted this to my comment section recently. Yeah, I'll put that at the beginning. I always want to see what like the craziest people are saying. And it's always at the bottom. What do we got? God is good and the devil is evil. This dude is always in my comments every time, no matter what. He's always here. Every video, practically. It's kind of impressive. Yeah, getting fit and healthy requires effort, sacrifice, and sometimes pain. And getting a country fit and healthy is no different. It isn't? Last I checked, I could be wrong. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong here. I believe that an economy is not a human being. So I think that it is different, actually. Trying to lose weight as a human being, I think that is different from building an economy to make it stronger. Am I wrong on that? Am I the idiot here? So yeah, growth can be hard, but Dems still have 3 years and 10 months to get used to it and accept it. Yeah, don't remind me. Trump is not helping. He is not slimming things down. He's not fixing anything. He's making it worse. And this is what we've got right now. Dude hanging next to Statue of Liberty, Scales of Justice, and Uncle Sam saying, this is going to be good for me. You just wait and see. No, it's not. Do you want to know what we would do if we wanted to improve this situation, make the country better, the economy stronger? Redistribute billionaires' money from the very top to the middle class. Invest it in infrastructure. Billionaires obviously are not doing that. They're sitting on their money. Government needs to tax the shit out of them until they have as much money as me and you. FDR, after the Depression, famously said, basically, jobs are hard to come by. He said, the government will be the employer of last resort. So he started this big program where anybody could work for the government and it'd pay really well, 30, 40, 50 bucks an hour, depending on what you were doing, and, you know, adjusted for inflation. And you would be put to work, you know, filling potholes, building bridges. Inexperienced people would be taught by more experienced people, and we would build out our infrastructure. That led to a massive boom because wealth was being injected into the lower class and building them up into the middle and upper middle class. Now they have a ton of disposable income and they're spending it. They're passing it out like Tic Tacs. That's what we need to do. Tax the shit out of billionaires. 90% tax rate if you make over $10 million a year. 50% capital gains tax if you have more than, $10 million in stock or something. And start a massive jobs program. Instead, Elon Musk and Donald Trump are destroying social programs, not taxing billionaires, destroying social programs. And by the way, destroying those social programs isn't going to fix the problem at all. It's going to make the problem much, much worse, actually. But yeah, hold on, where was it? But yeah. Same as a human being exercising. Exact same process, right? Totally. Not different at all. Tell me what you think in the comments. All right. Wow, I've been all over the place tonight, but I think it's super interesting. All right, let's jump to another. Actually, let me write this down real fast. Um, 28 to 103. Comments and reviewing a boomer. I know somebody that gets really upset when you use the word boomer. Which I get. You know, you can use things as slurs that aren't slurs. You can use Karen as a slur, too. Is it a slur? No, of course not. Boomer isn't a slur either. But it can be used as a slur, like calling somebody a Mexican. Sometimes that's a slur. Other times, it's their ethnicity. You know? Anyway. I try not to use it as like an offensive word. I try not to use it in that context. All right, 103 JWs. And the first one, what? Oh, yeah. Tom McDonald's. All right. Sweet. What did I get for this? Right. I want to go through r/ex-JW. There's some super interesting ex-Jehovah's Witness stories on here. Let's see what people have been talking about. The memorial is coming up soon. It's Jehovah's Witnesses' like yearly celebration, quote unquote. It's kind of like their Good Friday or their Easter or whatever. And they all kind of gather at the Kingdom Hall every year, and they listen to a talk, and they pass around wine and bread. Nobody eats it except for a select few. But they observe it, and then they all go home. It's just reenacting the night that Jesus supposedly died. Anyway, they try to get everybody that's even adjacent to Jehovah's Witnesses. Anybody that knows a Jehovah's Witness should be coming to that meeting. It's only like an hour long. So let's see. This person said no to going to the memorial. That's a pretty big deal. Even disfellowship people are invited. Literally everybody. For context, my preemie mother was trying to make arrangements for the memorial, and I finally put my foot down, and I said I would not go. Preemie means physically in, mentally in. Like, she is all in on this religion. They're like ultra believer, basically. I said I would not go. She angrily hung up on me, berated me in messages, and did not speak to me for the weekend. Let's see what she said here. Morning, blank. I hope you had a good weekend. I just want to let you know that I was sad during our last conversation. I didn't want to argue, so I was going to go. God, I'm going to get this sentence out. I'm sorry. I didn't want to argue, so I was going to get off the phone. It made me so sad when you just flat out said you just don't care because you used to have such a love for Jehovah and would never have even thought to say that or not go to the memorial. Wow, the grammar on this is a little rough. I know you're not happy in life right now, and I know it hasn't gotten any better the further away from Jehovah you get. Always here for you, though. Well, it's nice that she says she's always here for him or whatever, but this is something that Jehovah's Witnesses believe. Like, I don't know this guy's specific situation. Maybe he is going through a hard time. Maybe his mom knows about it and is trying to help, but this would be said by the mom either way. I know you're going through a hard time. I know you're not happy in life right now. I know it hasn't gotten better since you've gotten further from Jehovah. That is the default position for non-Jehovah's Witnesses. They are unhappy. They are miserable, in fact, not just unhappy. And the less you believe in the religion, the less happy you are. And I used to believe, it literally says that these people are mentally diseased. The Watchtower, I think 2011 said that. Apostates, mentally diseased. People that used to be Jehovah's Witnesses, but are no longer. I used to view outsiders as physically dirty. Like you didn't want to touch them because something would grow on you. That kind of thing. Like you don't know where those hands have been, that kind of thing. Anyway, let's keep reading. Here's her first message to me. I have depression, anxiety from a lot of trauma growing up as a JW, not to mention. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I also do. A lot of us do. And I don't even know what to say to her. This message just feels gross and manipulative. I want to set clear boundaries and draw my line in the sand. I'm at a loss for words and would like to get you guys' perspective and thoughts on what I should reply back with. Thank you in advance. Let's see what the top comment says here. I guess my first question is, are you getting anything of value to you in this relationship at all? Because I'm not getting that vibe. Thing about Jehovah's Witnesses is they constantly want to shove it down your throat. Like, even if they have the best of intentions and they're the nicest people imaginable, it's like, how like an alcoholic will constantly have alcohol in the brain. It'll always be in the back there. Or like a food addict or something. It'll always be in the back. They'll always be thinking about it, They stand up to use the bathroom or something, and they think to themselves, man, I could really use a drink. I better go to the kitchen and get a drink. Or, man, I could really use a cake right now or something. It's always there. It's the same with Jehovah's Witnesses. With the religious thing, it's always there. And they teach you that refraining from talking about Jehovah's Witnesses is grieving the Holy Spirit, is sinning. It's a bad thing. You must talk about the religion as much as humanly possible. So every time they think about it, every time something stupid pops in their head and they think, oh, brother blah, 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 did this the other day and that encouraged me or whatever, they have to verbalize it. I said to my mom when I was, when I had my kid, I said, you can take my kid with you, but do not bring her to meetings or don't talk about Jehovah's Witnesses with her. I will teach her about that stuff if I want it taught to her. Leave that out. Just have a relationship with her, a normal relationship. And she said, okay. She did it anyway. Completely disregarded my wishes. Ignored it. Because she's not capable of separating the religion from her own personality. Because she has the new personality, quote unquote, as they call it. Like an alcoholic or a food addict, it's always there in the back of their heads, always. And this person says, the very first thing I'd tell you is to put her on an information diet. You don't need to talk to her at all about your mental health issues and struggles, as they're clearly being weaponized against you. She is at least part of the cause, yet she uses it as proof you need to do what she says. I don't know about that. This seems kind-hearted, but is really, really manipulative from the outside. But as a Jehovah's Witness, I can see that she was trying to be nice in offering advice that she believed would work, even though it won't. In fact, it'll make things much, much worse. And she can't stop talking about it. This actually reeks of narcissistic traits. I don't know about that. It's a little bit of a stretch, but okay. Oh, you made her sad. So sad. Guilt tripping / gaslighting. That's part of the deal. That's part of the package. The new personality. As sad and angry are very different. Oh, she didn't want to argue, so she got off the phone. Gaslighting as berating you through texts is not avoiding argument, obviously. Fair enough. That's true. More guilt tripping as she's painting you as the cause of her negative emotions. When you loved Jay, you were happier. More gaslighting. Denying your experience. Always here for you. More manipulation. That's a little love bombing. Painting herself as someone who actually supports you as opposed to someone who's trying to control you. I can agree with all of that, actually. Yes, absolutely. But I don't know that it's like fully an attempt to control. Like, I don't know the dude's life, so I can't say. Maybe it is, but it came across to me as like the same absent-minded Jehovah's Witness trash that comes out of their mouths every single time because they believe that it's a sin not to talk about Jehovah. You're an adult. You do not owe her shit. Parent or not, you don't owe her explanation, rationalization, clarity, information, nothing, okay? Absolutely true. Let alone a response she will accept and respect. Hint, there is none other than you are right and I will do what you say. That's absolutely correct. I agree. I'd encourage you to start watching some YouTube vids on narcissistic parents if you haven't gone down that rabbit hole yet, because there are a lot of people inside with narcissistic traits, and this text screams it. I don't believe that's true. I don't think so at all, honestly. Narcissism is draining and just like depraved and evil, and it just like it sucks you dry of everything that you have. Narcissism is something that you will recognize when you see it, and this, I don't know that I see it in this text because I don't have enough information, in my opinion. Hang on, let me grab something. 1 second. Okay, backsies. Thanks for waiting. I fell down the stairs the other day. It was on stream, actually. I ran down to get my stool while I was streaming, and I fell down the stairs and hit my tailbone on the stair, and it's really, really painful. Oh my God. Yeah, very painful. So sitting for long stretches of time sometimes hurts, but I'll be okay. It'll heal. Does the thought of saying no thank you to something she wants without further explanation kind of terrify you and make you feel sick? That's my informal test for deciding if you're dealing with someone who has narcissistic traits. I think it's a little deeper than that, but okay. I ended up going very low contact with my JW mom, and the decision was so helpful. My mental health improved many, many times over. It It actually took a few months for my head to start to clear and for me to begin to understand how much it was negatively impacting my mental health. Yeah, that happens. I'm basically no contact with my mom, and I was no contact with my dad for his last 10 years till he died like a few years ago. I'm going to encourage you to get your own mental health support if you can and aren't already. And no, you're not obligated to respond to that at all. You must protect your own well-being because she won't. Absolutely, I agree. 100%. Like, even non-manipulative Jehovah's Witnesses have manipulation built in. It's part of the new personality, and that's what we're seeing emerge. Oh, hang on. Let me just check. I checked through this earlier. I just want to see if there's anything specific here. No, I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Check this out. Dude says, I'm done. 6 years a pioneer. Pioneer is the highest you can go in the religion before actually taking a step into like full-blown leadership. Like, women can attain the position of pioneer. It basically just means that you're door knocking for a certain number of hours every month. I forget what it is. Well, it's changed over the years too. I think when I was in it, it was 70 hours a month, which is, what is it, 15, 20 hours a week, somewhere in there. Basically part-time job, door knocking. Auxiliary pioneer was month to month. Pioneer is you make that agreement to do that for 12 months, 12 consecutive months. So this person was a pioneer for 6 years. Wow, dude. 6 years regular pioneering, a life commenting and wearing the perfect clothes, the perfect example. Elder dad, elder brother, 25 male, pioneer mom. I'm 23. LDC, wait. I'm not sure what LDC is. LDC was fun, made me think they value the sisters, till you hear them talk about how we can't do it right. Oh, it's a chick. I thought it was a dude. LDC. Anybody know what that is? That's one of the schools, isn't it? One of their little schools they train people to go door knocking and stuff. I'm more studious than my elder dad and brother, and they can only direct you to a website. They ask me and my mom for Bible accounts because they don't know anything. So sad and lost. I saw the falling tower and then hours of JW facts verifying. I'm planning my escape, meeting with the brothers to stop pioneering tonight. Wow, dude. That is so good to hear. Every now and then you get some really good news like that, like people breaking out of the organization. And it's so difficult to do. Oh my God. And JW Facts, that website is crazy. I used it as a source a lot when I wrote my book on this subject because they have a lot of original document, like PDFs, scans of really, really old stuff, like scans of Joseph Rutherford's letter to Adolf Hitler telling him that he agreed with everything that he was doing and all of that. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. Some of the stuff JW Facts has. And they even have, like, I did some deep, deep research into Jehovah's Witnesses in World War II, reading books in, like, you know, reading books that were originally in German. I translated them with an app, and I would read through them and stuff, reading documents that are in German. I mean, I went in, and JW Facts had some of that information already on their website. I was so impressed by that. It's crazy. Anyway. Once you have that meeting, Zoom is your best friend from here on out. Nice suggestion. But unfortunately, like when she stops pioneering like that, she's going to be on their radar, and they're going to be wondering like what's going on. Why is she not coming to the meetings as frequently? Why is she using Zoom for meetings more often? I don't know. It's going to be harder to lay low when she's on their radar. Maybe just like leave pioneering behind and just attend Zoom meetings consistently for like 6 months. Even answer or whatever. Like, make them think that you're all in still. And then just kind of fade into the background. That's what I'd do. It's so easy to fade when you can literally Zoom the meetings, mute it, and that's it. Yeah. The guy's running LDC. Oh my God. The word. I know it. What is it? Local Design and Construction Department. That's not right. Is that it? That's not it. There's no way. Is that it? Really? I think that's it. The Local Design and Construction Program extends beyond Kingdom Hall construction, offering volunteer opportunities, approving assembly sites, blah, blah, blah. The guys running LDC were among the dumbest bags of rocks I've met. I was constantly at the same parties with the local LDC hotshots. By God, they didn't know jack shit about development. Yeah, I guess it is the Local Design and Construction Department or whatever. Basic questions. They'd spew some brain-dead BS instead of admitting, I don't know, can you clarify? People who pretend to understand a subject they know zilch about to impress someone who does are clowns. Some of the most obnoxious, low IQ, wannabe, big-time, irritating, immature motherfuckers. I was trying to avoid swears, but there's no avoiding that one. Wow, man, that's fascinating. Hold on. A brother hosted a singles JW party and got in trouble. Oh my God. JWs, Jewish people, and LDS/Mormons all suggest the members only date each other. However, the other two groups host singles parties, and the LDS or the Mormons even have singles meetings. Yeah, they do. They have a dedicated church building to singles. Everybody in it is single, and between 18 and 25, I think, you age out at 25. Like, if your wife dies or something, and you're 50, you got to find your wife in the normal meetings. It's kind of, kind of sucks the way it's all set up. The JW religion does none of this, but complains when their members try to date in the world, quote unquote. So brother had an idea. Since JWs are having problems finding other singles, he will host a singles event for JWs. I think that's a fine idea, sure. He rented out a small lounge so only JWs could go. However, the lounge said they want everyone to get a drink to cover the bar tab. That's okay. There's nothing technically wrong with that so far. But he probably should have done it somewhere other than a bar. Maybe invited to his house. That would have been fine, probably. So the brother told everyone to either give him $25 at the door to promise to get to, So the brother told everyone to either give him $25 at the door or promise to get 2 drinks to cover the cost. So the party was a hit, but then, of course, someone spread a rumor that someone was drunk and there's no chaperones. Okay, yeah, I can see that being a problem, definitely. Yeah, that would definitely be a problem. That's why you host it at somebody's house and you have some elders there while you're at it, probably. He said he explained to his elder that most people there were over 27, so they can chaperone themselves. Yeah, I guess that's an argument. Anyway, he got in trouble, not disfellowship, but they had to talk about wild parties and bad association. Oh, please. And others were complaining that paying for the party means you aren't scriptural, but in his defense, people would be paying $25 if they went anywhere else. Anyway, the whole thing is a mess. What do they want? They complain about not enough people at the meetings and JWs not dating each other, but then don't provide an alternative. Absolutely. That's Jehovah's Witnesses for you. That is authoritarian systems generally, I would argue. I mean, not to bring it to politics, but think about it. Like, people want to deal with the homeless problem, right? Let me rephrase that. People want to reduce abortion, and they also want to reduce birth control. Why? What do you think you're doing? What are you accomplishing? If you want to reduce abortion, increase birth control. There are politicians out there, lots of them, that are trying to reduce both. What do you think is going to happen? People are going to get pregnant. That's just the bottom line. It's like contradictory ideas. They don't make sense. They don't add up. If you really wanted to stop abortion, you would not support the other one. Or people that want to eliminate social programs like welfare programs, food stamps, and HUD and whatever, and also want to get rid of the homeless or whatever, you know, push them out of the city. Like, what do you think is going to happen? People are going to lose their jobs. They're going to be homeless. They're going to lose all their shit. And where are they going to live? You want people to stop living under bridges, then like improve the economy and give them a path to like rebuilding their life. I don't understand. These people, it's because it's all built on ideology. That's authoritarianism. Ideology like that, like Jehovah's Witnesses and others, is incoherent. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up, and it doesn't lead to anything logical or helpful or safe. And it doesn't, certainly, sure as hell does not lead to happiness. Anyway. Not sure how long that was. Let's see, 103. Okay, that's long enough. 127. So, yeah, that's good. I'll write that one down. 127. All right, let's hit the next story, shall we? We are at 4 stories so far. 3 for Fireside. I need one. I need another for Maine. Maybe even 2. Gray and close group. Gray, close group. Now, let's see here. Oh, MAGA forums. Yes. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, hang on. Let me pull up the MAGA forums. Years and years ago. All right. There's this website called The Donald, and it's basically as deep underground as it gets for the Trump movement. Like, it is a far-right extremist cell for all intents and purposes. It's absolutely wild, some of the shit that they say. Like, you wonder where these people organize and like these forums that they discuss things in and where they're having these conversations. It's here on this website. Hang on. I'm looking for... So anyway, I have been randomly saving like snapshots of this website periodically over the years. I have some like from immediately after January 6th. I have some from like 2022, like when the Georgia Guidestones were blown up and stuff. And I just want to kind of scroll through the comments of the websites that I've archived over the years and see what they said. All right, let's check Inauguration Day. Joe Biden Inauguration Day. See what they had to say. Goodbye, I love you, we'll be back in some form, Donald J. Trump. You'll all realize what this means, right? The presidency wasn't even his final form. Okay. I'm ready for 4 more years of rallies, if for no other reason than to annoy the leftists who thought they were finally free of his influence. If the rallies are... If the rallies are until our next move needs to be planned. What? Brother, do you even grammar? Have you ever grammared in your life? The important thing is that we don't quit. Mike Tyson once said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Oh my God, I love that phrase. That's a good saying. Well, we've been punched in the mouth and the world seems to be spinning out of control. Question is, where do we go from here? Do we curl up in a ball and hope that if we're compliant, the commies won't curb stomp us, or get back on our feet and keep fighting for our country? I don't know if there will be a victory in our future, but I do know that giving up is the best way to ensure that there won't. You know, if nothing else, it's valuable to read this to learn from the strategy. And he's absolutely correct, whoever the outlaw Pope Wales fellow was. Can't curl up in a ball. You need to fight. Fight, always. He's over 9,000. Oh, my God. He should have used his farewell speech to announce he was quitting the Republican Party and forming his new party. Yes. Oh, my God. I would love that. I hear he's on Snake Way as we speak. Oh, my God. This is a Dragon Ball Z reference. Okay. Yes. Yes. I like Dragon Ball Z, too. Trump-class aircraft carriers. The first in space. Fuck, I hope not. Keep your New York liberal Jew shit the fuck out of politics for good. You fucking ruined America. Now we have Pedo Joe and some she N-word as our leaders. Real great job there. Oh my God, dude. Is that guy anti-Donald Trump? Why would he be on here? That is psychotic, man. Honestly, there are two types of Republicans right now in the United States. The first one is full MAGA Christian nutcase that believes that Israel must exist for Jesus to come back. And the second MAGA group, and the second Republican group agrees with all of that, but also fucking hates Jews. It is bizarre to see this pure unadulterated hate for Jews alongside, God, what's the word? Capitulation isn't even the right word. Just like taking a knee to anything that Israel wants done. It's just wild to see. Let me see what else we got. Hold on. They vetted U.S. soldiers. Let me expand these. Joe Biden claims without evidence that he is the president of the United States. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is from... Wait. No, when is this from? Oops. When was this? When did I save this one? Okay, this one is from January 20th. This is from Inauguration Day. The title is Joe Biden claims without evidence that he is the president of the United States. They just could not accept it at the time. Oh my God. He is not. He is a fraud. These people just couldn't take it. We were defrauded too. Not according to people familiar with their way of thinking. Lol, there is no widespread evidence that Biden is the legitimate president. Fact check confirmed. These people are just like, are in another reality. They were in another reality 5 years ago and they are today. And honestly, that alternate reality forming out, that started in the 90s. Really, it started after Reagan undid the fairness doctrine. That basically said you have to give equal time to both sides if you're going to support specific political campaigns or candidates or whatever. He undid that. And that's when the propaganda machine really started revving up. There's no widespread evidence that Biden is legitimately the president. And this person says, except for everything that literally makes Biden the victor. Lol, you people are completely delusional. It's cringe, but hilarious. I can agree with that one. Minus 32 points, plus 4 points. Join us, because it is the way. Our movement is the best. We have the best patriots, and Trump will still be more popular and get all the coverage, even with that fake pedo President Biden shuffling around pretending he's president. Lol, your movement is pathetic, the laughingstock of the world right now. Your so-called patriots are anti-American domestic terrorists, fascists, scum, who want to overturn our democracy based on conspiracy theories peddled by the very same deep state grifters you claim to despise, so I'm good, thanks. Dude didn't know how right he was. Honestly. Anti-American domestic terrorist fascist. That perfectly, identically describes Trump supporters, without a doubt. Hold on, let me just adjust my camera a little bit here. Hold on. Commander in Thief. King of the election. Oh, Jesus Christ. My whole microphone stand came off. There we go. Okay. King of the election riggers. Handler of beef. What? Chairman Joe, Dictator Joe. Dude, I love how these people delusionally believed that Joe Biden was going to be a dictator. And now Donald Trump is actually literally a dictator, ignoring Congress and the checks and balances that exist in our system, and ignoring court orders completely. He's taken over the government 100%. Holy Christ. He's barely a resident of the United States. Biden is barely a resident of the United States. What? Did we even have an election? The Democrats did. The Democrats did what? Oh, the Democrats did have an election, I see. Because it was stolen, you see. Democrats successfully stole the White House, Senate, and probably the House. No matter how much you silence people, nothing will ever change. The fact that Joe Biden is an illegitimate president and the United States government is an illegitimate government. Nothing. Okay. God, these people are vile, dude. They are vile human beings. Let's see what else we got. I saved a bunch on... Hold on. Wait. Saved a bunch on the Donald. I'm sorry. I saved a bunch on other dates. Let's see. Where did I save them? January 13th, January 6th, 7th, November 18th, 2021. NBC producer Irene Minju-Byon mass deletes her Twitter and LinkedIn accounts. Trump just got banned on Twitter. Oh my God. Okay, you guys remember when Trump was banned on Twitter 2 days after January 6th? Here's the extremist cell and what they had to say after that. This is a first. The President of the United States has been deplatformed. The United States doesn't exist anymore. This is the correct answer. Well, maybe the people will make it exist again. The only thing I'm united with lately is you guys, my girlfriend, and my bourbon and my firearm. Great. The corrupted states of America. What will all the leftist trolls do with their time now? They must feel so empty all of a sudden. Says the right-wing MAGA Nazi troll. Are you shitting me? Like Milo and Gavin canceled. Wow. Milo Yiannopoulos is a Nazi. Gavin McInnes is the founder of the Proud Boys and of Vice News, and also a Nazi. Has he even posted lately? Something is seriously going on. So many voices being stifled today. Major red pills incoming. May even wake up some old hippie liberal professors. These people straight up live in a delusion, and they have for years. It's wild to see. What the heck is going on? Total silence from Trump. Trump has to be doing things behind the scenes. Or he dead. This dude thought that he... Are you kidding me? If he was dead, they wouldn't need to delete his account. Most likely given the Romanov treatment. Or the Romanov, I mean. I'm sorry, I don't think he is. I've been a supporter since day one, but I truly believe we are over. Trump isn't doing anything. He has given up in favor of trying to save his own skin. He knows they're coming for him, and he doesn't want to go to prison. My God, they're just... This is such a fascinating glimpse into their headspace, right? Deep-faked video, tweet that wasn't written by him, and crying K-Mac. Something's wrong. I don't know what that is. Oh, Kayleigh McEnany. Okay. All I know is they need him silenced. Emergency alert now. These people are so delusional. Big tech is full of communists who are offended by different opinions. Dude literally led an insurrection on the US government. And this is like a difference of opinion in their mind. It's like saying somebody tried to hire a hitman to kill their wife, and in court they argue, I'm just texting friends. I'm not allowed to make plans with friends. When those plans are murder or insurrection, no, you're not. What happened to free speech? You can't plan to murder people. Anyway. Read this. For Texas to secede, it needs just 50% of voter support. We need Trump to endorse secession to have a good chance at Texit. Instead of Brexit, Texit, you get it? Texas cannot secede. The Civil War was fought over that, and it was decided that states are not allowed to secede. Hold on, I'm just looking here. Fuck, I'd move to Texas and become a resident just to vote for that, honestly. Can Florida join? Do they take votes from out of state like they did in November, asking for a family? Oh my God. It's election denialism nonsense. Dorsey must have had a real hate for Trump to ban him permanently. WTF. Red 1 is in effect. I don't know what that means. Twitter be acting like they got war powers. The world will be just fine without you, social media. Twitter is inciting violence with these actions. Oh my God, dude. You're reading this? Twitter is inciting violence with these actions. Banning Trump is inciting violence. Oh, I see. This Red 1 is in effect thing. Here's an explanation. Red 1 was a post by Q saying Trump will be banned from Twitter. Right. So it's a not a prophecy, it's I guess a prediction that indicates that they had foresight into what was going to happen next. Jesus. It's a Q thing. Could have just said fake and gay. Okay, wow. I so want to click some of these links, but I'm like, I don't know if I should. Certainly not on stream. Let me drag them over and see what they... Oh, site can't be reached. Damn, I'm so sad. I was really hoping we were going to get some crazy shit. It's this. EAS loyalists. I guess this is the Q post. Red 1, POTUS Twitter removal. Red 2, Central Communications blackout. Oh, that's right. I remember. So QAnon made this claim that, all right, QAnon is a movement centered around this guy named Q, calls himself Q. Q Clearance Patriot, claims to have special security clearance higher than like anything that you can get anywhere. It's made up. We know who Q was now. It was Ron Watkins, and he's a loser. Some random loser that like pretends that he knows jujitsu when he doesn't. He literally does not. It's like some anime fan. Anyway, he claimed that the storm was coming, and the storm was this event where like a bunch of people are going to be arrested, and they're going to hold military tribunals, and they're going to force people like Americans to watch them 8 hours on and 8 hours off, and then sleep, and 8 hours on, 8 hours off, and they're going to make businesses close while these tribunals are playing and everything else. And the lead up to the storm, quote unquote, is going to be Trump banned from Twitter, Central Communications blackout, so they turn off the internet completely, and then CLAS movement, Pelosi or Pence, I don't know what that is, movement of MIL assets to central locations under guise of citizen riot control. Right, so I guess mother-in-law assets? I don't know what MIL is. Moving certain politicians to isolated areas. NAT, oh, military. I see. Military assets. National Military, ComSen, Red 6, Secretary of Defense, Instruct 1, blah, blah, blah. Pretending that they're, you know, sending some secret message or whatever when they weren't. It was just nonsense. So anyway, the path here is Trump banned from Twitter, Communications blackout. Pelosi and Pence are brought to some mountain isolated area for their quote-unquote safety, and then the storm begins. This is Red 2, somebody says. This is embarrassing is what it is. Oh my God. This is just wild, man. It is wild to me that these people are just like eating this up, hook, line, and sinker. We're at Red 5 now, I believe. Motherfuckers want war. Literally just banned this dude from Twitter, and they're saying they want war. They're saying they're inciting violence by banning somebody from Twitter. These people are gone. Their heads are gone. How long have I been talking about this? I'm super interested in this subject. I forgot to write the timestamp down. 147. No, I'm good. 128. Yeah, okay, that's probably good. Anyway, man, I've got like a ton of these, like archived, saved pages, and it's really, really hard to get your hands on some of these now. Like some of them were archived on the Wayback Machine, but it doesn't really work well because you can't look at specific links like within the Donald. So anyway, wow, absolutely fascinating. Tell me what you think about it in the comments, and if you want to see more of this stuff. Whew, that is wild. Lots of slurs. Yeah, 52, that works. Now, what was the other one I wanted to hit? Let's see, Lefty MAGA, Alex Jones divorce. Yes, that's right. And then Boomer going full Nazi, already hit. I hit the MAGA forum, so let me just change that color. And then close group. Oh, no, wait. That was another one that I meant to hit, actually. Damn, that's okay. Patriot Front. MAGA forum historical. So this is the one I meant to mark gray. Close group. And I meant to keep MAGA forum orange. There we are. Close. Awesome. All right. Let's talk about Alex Jones getting divorced. Apparently, Alex Jones is getting divorced. There's this article on page6.com. Alex Jones, InfoWars conspiracist who owes Sandy Hook families $1.5 billion, divorcing wife, Erica Wolf. Let's see if there's new info on this now. Oh, yeah, on the Daily Beast. Nice. Okay. This is on the Daily Beast. Bankrupt Alex Jones is getting divorced again. We'll start here. March 28th. Are you kidding me? Please leave me alone. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to integrate this into my program, too, that I'm writing in Python. The ability to, like, destroy paywalls. That'll be awesome. Because I hate paywalls. They're awful. Wait. Oh, I was hoping for longer than that. InfoWars founder Alex Jones and his second wife, Erica Wolf, with whom he shares a child, are divorcing. Really? Only second wife? I thought he had more than that. Jones, 50. Is he only 51? No way. He's only 51? That's crazy. I thought he was like 60 by now. And Wolf, 46, both filed separate petitions for divorce and requested restraining orders against each other. Wow. First in September and then in March, according to page 6. September and then March. They wed in 2017, the same year Jones' first wife, Kelly, was awarded joint custody of their 3 kids due to his behavior. Well, if she's awarded joint custody, then that means that there wasn't a downside because he was perfectly competent to take care of kids. I don't know why they're saying that. Whatever. Maybe I don't know the situation. Soon after, in 2018, Jones was sued for spreading fake conspiracy theories about the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre. After a gunman opened fire in a first grade classroom, taking 20 students and 6 educators, Jones claimed the attack had been staged by crisis actors in an attempt to enact stricter gun control laws. 4 of the victims' families, plus an FBI agent, later sued him for defamation, saying they'd been attacked, stalked, threatened, and harassed because of his lies. He owes about $1.2 billion to the families for various suits. He filed for personal bankruptcy in 2022, The Guardian reported, and InfoWars being sold as part of the case. Yeah, a lot of the money, like millions of dollars that they are suing him for and successfully won in this lawsuit was, what's the word? Not punitive, but compensatory. It was compensatory money awarded to them because they had to move and hire personal security and shit because Alex Jones was haunting them. With like his little nutcases were going to their house and taking pictures through their windows and shit. They're like for years and years. And Alex Jones on his network, on InfoWars, doxed them. He had a guy on that doxed them, actually. Like gave their names and their addresses and everything. And of course, made everything way, way worse. Hang on, let me pull this up real fast. 1 second. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, like, this whole story, what was going on with this. But Alex Jones, God, he's in bad shape, man. I don't know what's happening with the case at this moment. Let me see if I can find out. Hold on. Case update. Hold on, wait. Let me find this one video. Here. Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. I forgot about this. Okay. Yeah. I want to talk about this. Mentions. Yeah. And then, actually, you know what? I should probably drag these over to my downloads. And delete these. Give me just a second, guys. I'm sorry. $33 megs. Wow, this is taking a really long time to load. There we go. I don't know if you guys remember like what was happening with the Alex Jones case, but basically he was sued by the Sandy Hook families, and his lawyer accidentally sent a full image of Alex Jones's phone, everything to opposing counsel. Now, if Alex Jones's lawyer realized his mistake and said, "That's privileged. I didn't mean to send that. Delete it." Within 10 days, if he had said those words, he would have been required to delete it. And he couldn't have even opened it. Nothing. So opposing counsel emails Alex Jones's lawyer and says, you know, you sent me this like whole image, right? Like, did you mean to send me this? And the dude said, yeah, I sent you the image, whatever. I don't even know what he said. Did he even respond? I'm not sure. And it finally fell into opposing counsel's hands, free and clear legally, and they got a full image of Alex Jones's phone as a result of this, you know, the Sandy Hook cases. And they got some really funny stuff.
There's all of the stuff in there. He cannot now come into court and claim 2.3 gigabytes of phone material, blanket designation of confidentiality. The protective order prohibits that. You must identify specifically the documents that are. And things like Mr. Jones and his intimate messages with Roger Stone are not confidential. They are not trade secrets. None of that. There's been no protection ever asserted over these documents. And frankly,
so he mentions that Roger Stone sent some intimate texts, or some intimate texts were sent to Roger Stone. Those intimate texts were pictures of Alex Jones' wife's boobs. Not even joking. Roger Stone responds to it. He explains why he was looking at those pictures.
In fact, in this Soviet-style show trial,
come on.
It was revealed that Jones's lawyer inadvertently sent 2 years of text messages to the plaintiff's attorneys. And they said that those text messages included intimate communications between Jones and I. And they're absolutely right. We prayed together.
Oh, that type of intimate. No. They meant pictures of his wife's boobs and other things. Maybe that's why they're getting divorced. That's possible, right?
We prayed for our nation together. Alex prayed for my wife when she had cancer. Alex lifted me up when I was staring into the abyss and looking at a death sentence at the hands of a federal judge.
Oh, please. Death sentence. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Anyway, back around, circling back around to Alex Jones here. This was the end result of the case. This is how it kind of played out. After the judgment was issued and all that stuff, and appeals were exhausted.
I've been under attack. I've been gaslit. I've had secret federal filings follow me that I'm committing crimes.
Oh, please. Such a victim.
Referred to the Justice Department, which of course wasn't true. We'd already filed it in federal court months before. They didn't even check this shit. If you're going to fucking frame somebody and fucking lie about them to goddamn federal court with the fucking know it's already filed the goddamn court, you bastard. So fuck you.
Get help, man. For real. He's beyond help at this point.
And fuck anybody else that tries to go on with your shit. You want fucking war, you fucking got it. I told you one more fucking lie, and I was going to do this, all right? I tried to sustain this place. I didn't believe America was as corrupt as this. I didn't believe we were this fucked, and we are this fucked. This country is administratively got a bunch of scum in charge of it.
Okay, this is June 1st, 2024. I wonder if he still feels this way. Or just wait, it gets better.
That's why it's going down the tubes, and America and the whole world sees it. So you misjudged who I am, and any of your minions misjudged who I am, and you have no idea.
Unfortunately, I think we do have an idea of who you are.
No idea. So go ahead. Try to jerk off some operation to shut the doors here and do that and prove everything I said. It doesn't matter. And I don't sit there and make threats. I make promises.
Okay.
I haven't had time yet to dig it out of my phone. But I will. And you will, at the end of the day, know that Alex Jones, the American patriot, defeated your evil ass. You guys want to comment?
Well, I'll just say. I was looking for a different video, actually. This dude is absurd, and I'm so entertained by the insanity. Hold on. I'm looking for... Wait. Where the hell is... Wait a minute. Where's the video? Hold on. I'm looking for one specific video here. Explains why he's crying a few days earlier. Wait, what's this one? Hold on.
Here's just a few of the headlines.
No, that's not the one I was looking for. War cry, profanity-laden rant. Before saying... All right. So here, this is the one I was looking for. Damn. All right, let me copy it and paste it. Try it again. All right. This is the one I meant to watch.
When I know I leave tonight, they're going to shut us down. Maybe it's tomorrow, the next day. I just want people to know I love you. I believe in you. I believe in humanity.
Bro, I don't think we're close enough for that right now. It's a little soon.
I believe in my grandparents. I believe in my parents. I believe in humanity. I just want to fucking stop these people. They gotta be stopped. We gotta stop them.
You know, sorry, man. I don't like anybody suffering. I don't want anybody to suffer. But my sympathy is through the floor for this dude because he literally made the parents of children that were victims of a massacre, he made them feel this way. My sympathy is pretty much non-existent for him after what he did to these people, and that is why he's crying. He's facing consequences for those actions. Not even stiff consequences. He just has to pay out a bunch of money. He could have gone to prison for that. So anyway, I have zero sympathy. It's in the negatives. It's circled back to enjoyment now because of how negative the sympathy went. Anyway, I'm sure I remember what I was going to say about this. All right, never mind. Anyway, let's keep listening.
So, at the end of the day...
Oh, yeah, I remember now. Sorry. Anyway, one of the parents that he made feel this way checked out. Lost his kid. Lost everything in the world that mattered to him. And to top it off, he's got people peeking through his windows at night, trying to take pictures of him or harassing him. Can't go to the grocery store because Alex Jones showed his face all over InfoWars. And InfoWars isn't just like a show. It's not like a YouTube channel or whatever. It's a giant network with a ton of different hosts, different people, different shows. And Alex Jones dedicated InfoWars to destroying these people for a while. So much so that a dad checked out. I have negative sympathy now.
At the end of the day, we're going to beat these people. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but it's been a hard fight. These people hate our children.
They hate our children's.
Just take more calls. Go ahead, do the next person. Because we can't give up now. We have to keep going. We have to stay here. We have to let them shut us down. We have to stand all the way to the end, and we're going to win.
So Alex Jones's whole everything, InfoWars, was sold or is being sold. I'm not sure what the state is right now. The Onion purchased it in a bidding, and and it's being held up in appeals right now. It's all, is it in probate? Is that the term for it? Nobody owns it yet because the bidding is being contested. And basically Roger Stone and a bunch of other, Elon Musk and grifters like that, scam artists, are pooling their money together to purchase InfoWars on behalf of Alex Jones so that he can just keep the studio open and continue working or whatever. So once again, no consequences. No consequences for this guy. The Sandy Hook families, they didn't even take everything. They told the judge they want him to be able to continue to work to generate money for them to pay them back. And they're going to donate it, put it into a fund so that they can, counter propaganda and stuff. Because this dude's going to be talking one way or another. They take literally everything. He's going to have a cell phone and a Rumble channel. People will always find Alex Jones. They cannot take his voice. So anyway, they opted to let him keep the studio so that basically he could continue to generate more money for them, which I respect.
Jones, I think everybody needs a war cry, man. Can you muster a war cry?
Oh my God, this is so embarrassing, this part.
It's a big joke.
It's not really, though. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's also inspiring.
No, it's embarrassing.
My voice will completely go.
My voice will completely go, but it's fine?
It's fine. It's my resistance to them. It's a God's transmission. It's a human under attack.
Okay, fantastic. Dude's face is beet red. I don't think I've seen a redder face than this. Wow. Looks like he just birthed a baby or something.
All right, let's go to one more speaker. Let's go to Myron. Myron, what is on your mind?
Jesus Christ, dude. I love watching these old clips of like Alex Jones. They're so weird. He is such a weird human being, honestly. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. I guess he's getting divorced, and I gotta wonder, let me know in the comments, was it the boob pics to Roger Stone? Is that the cause of the divorce? Was it the boob pics? Did they even play a part in it, I wonder? Tell me your thoughts. MAGA. Alex Jones. 153 to 207. That's not terrible timing. Could be better, but that's okay. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos. 1 for Maine. I should do another for Maine. 6, 5. Okay. Alex Jones divorce. I can close that group. Close. All right, what do we got now? Lefty MAGA, I already hit. KGB, Patriot Front, TYT. Yeah, let's hit the TYT drama. Actually, I meant to hit this like long before now. I totally forgot about it. I should have hit this first, honestly. All right, this is 2 minutes. This one is 15 minutes.
I think what...
And this is a long one. All right.
Off the network.
Hang on, what's...
Issue of crime. So, again, for...
Okay, I don't know what this website is about, but... Hold on.
Said TYT.
Wait, is this just a straight clip from it? Because I have it pulled up already.
Francesca Fiorentini asked us at TYT to take...
Yeah, it's already pulled up. Hold on, let's see here.
The issue is what rights. Let me just say...
Disagreements on the network.
Rights. Let me just say quickly what my position is, because I'm for 100% constitutional rights for us. They should be allowed in country, but and professional level, I think the league should. It's not overall populace in to play bathrooms. They should definitely be allowed to serve in the military.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I want to jump to this. We'll come back to this in just a second because I want to hit that. But for now, let's watch this. Okay. So Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks just banned somebody from appearing on the show. It's another left-wing contributor that had been on the Young Turks like a lot, had like filled in as a guest host and stuff, and he just banned her. And it's like kind of a big drama thing. And it's fascinating from like from kind of like a moral perspective. Like, how did Cenk justify this decision? Listen to this.
Recently, Francesca Fiorentini asked us at TYT to take her podcast, The Habituation Room, off the network.
I don't know that that's true, but okay.
And we happily agreed to that. And today, I'm going a little further, and I'm going to take Francesca off the network entirely. So you won't see her on any of the TYT shows going forward.
All right, now this is complicated because he said she wanted to take her stuff off of their network. The way that their system works is they have like podcasts and they have Facebook pages and stuff, and they upload like Francesca's videos, for example, to their Facebook page, and it does really well, and she gets a percentage of that money or whatever, right? That's generally how their system works. But Cenk has taken like a hard right shift with Anna, who's full-blown like right-wing now. No questions about that. And Francesca said, I don't want my shows running on your network anymore. So in response, Cenk says, you're not allowed to be on any of our shows. That's not just removing her from their channel, because they cover a lot more than just TYT, the channel. They encompass other shows too, like the Damage Report with John Idarola. Is that who it is? The Majority Report was once part of the TYT network. David Pakman was once part of it. Kyle Kolinsky of Secular Talk was once part of the TYT network. She wouldn't be able to be on any of those shows if Cenk had his way, basically. That's what he's doing right now. He's banning her from basically all of left-wing YouTube or content creation, Twitter, TikTok, anything, which is insane. So asking to have your podcast taken from the network and parting ways in a business kind of context is very different from banning somebody from being on any of these shows.
So I want you guys to know why I'm doing that and how this whole situation.
Hold on, I'm going to pull this up because I know exactly where this is. By the way, I watched this whole video, if you're curious, on my Unfiltered channel.
And what we stand
Woo, that is loud. Okay.
for. And so we're for open minds and open hearts.
Step back here. Hang on.
Arts, build a community. By the way, if you don't believe in the same things and you say, no, I have a strict ideology and I have no open mind. I've had some disagreements, but if you think that they've been large, no problem.
Damn it, I'm looking for the part where it starts.
So they've been around.
Uh-oh. My recording died because I don't have enough disk space. Let me delete some of my recordings here. Hang on. All right, let me try that again. Continue on here.
The issue of crime, did crime rise between 20?
All right, I got to find the spot. Hold up. Let me just check the transcript if I can. Hold on. Where the hell is the transcript? Here it is. Show transcript.
Isn't really about Francesca.
Isn't really about. Here it is. 23. Okay. This is the spot. Let's start listening from here.
Francesca, it's about TYT, our community, and what we stand for. And so we're for open minds and open hearts. And so I want all of you to know that, and I want to build a community that believes in that and invites people in that believe in the same things. And
look, the problem is that I totally agree that it's worth at least considering building a bridge with Republicans, certainly disenfranchised Republicans who feel they don't have a voice in the party now that, MAGA's taken it over. Or hell, you know what? Even maybe building a bridge with MAGA in a very limited capacity to try to accomplish mutual goals. But what mutual goals could we possibly have with MAGA, right? I get that. I get that concept. The problem is that that's not what Cenk is doing. He is taking on the MAGA perspective in a lot of ways, which we'll see in a second. And that is leading to complete brain rot. It's leading to him coming up with absolutely wild, bizarre conclusions that make absolutely no sense. And it's leading to him pushing his audience to the right.
And by the way, if you don't believe in the same things and you say, no, I have a strict ideology and I have no open mind about that, no problem.
I don't know anybody who says that. They may have this hard line where, no, I believe human rights are a fundamental piece and I am not compromising on that. But everybody, considers these moral issues.
Tons of shows out there for you guys. So first of all, we've had some disagreements. I certainly have with some of the far left, but I think they've been relatively small. But if you think that they've been large, no problem. So they've been around the issue of crime. Did crime rise between 2019 and 2023? Well, that's a fact. It did.
2019 to 2023? I don't know what this bizarre culture war thing is that he's referring to right now. Did it? I don't have any idea. I mean, that was around COVID times, right? So maybe. I mean, Trump was president for half of that time, 2020 and 2019, and then Biden 2021 and 2022, and then 23. So I'm not even sure like what the point is here.
But it's okay. We could have different interpretations of it. That's not an issue at all. We certainly are against police abuse, and we've fought against it. I would argue at least as much as any show on the planet, and perhaps a lot more. And I take great pride that Benjamin Crump, among others, said that Trayvon Martin would not have gotten anywhere near the national coverage that he did if it wasn't for the Young Turks. So nevertheless, we could have disagreements about specific policy issues, and we do on slogans and framing, et cetera. For example, defund the police, Latinx. These are normal disagreements within any community.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. For the record, I don't even think that those. All right. I don't think anybody is even arguing for what he thinks they're arguing for, though. With defund the police, the right-wing framing is people on the left want to eliminate the police force completely, get rid of it, and replace it with nothing, so that everybody is just like living their life and there won't be any police whatsoever in any shape or form. I don't know a single human being that believes that. I think the defund police perspective was police are a badge and a gun. Police represent force. They are there to force things to happen. And that's good sometimes, right? Like somebody is hitting their wife, force shows up to stop that from happening. There are good reasons for police to be around. But why would force be involved if we find out a step parent is abusing their step kid, like sexually abusing the step kid? Why would force be a factor in dealing with like homeless people or whatever? It should be social workers, right? Shouldn't it be people who are qualified to handle these situations? That's what defund the police meant. It meant take money from the police budget and put it into social work so that those people, and bring them into the department so that they can help deal with issues that, police officers might overreact to or jump the gun or whatever. Because, when a police officer is a little trigger happy, people die. When they had a bad day, people die. So maybe try to decrease the number of police and increase the number of social workers where we can. Right? That's what defund the police meant. And Cenk, he seems to believe that defund the police meant get rid of police entirely. The problem isn't disagreements. It's the fact that you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. It's the fact that you are landing on conclusions based on nonsensical right-wing framing. And you'll see another example of that in a second. Now, the Latinx thing, I don't actually know a single human being who's in favor of saying Latinx. I've heard it a few times. I think it's stupid. Every Spanish speaker that I know thinks it's stupid because that's not how the language works. Okay, I'm learning German, and they have a gendered language. Like, tables are chicks or whatever, and chairs are dudes. I don't even remember now. But everything has a gender because that's how the language works. You've got the word die, that's feminine. Das, that's neuter. And der, I believe, is masculine. Or maybe I'm mixing those up. But anyway, I think that's right. You wouldn't take the word D-I-E, and just put an X on the end and say, well, this represents like all genders now. Dicks. That's not how it works. That's not how language works. That would make no sense in German, like at all. Nobody wants that. Nobody is advocating for that. Like I said, I've heard some poor fools say Latinx a few times. It's nonsense. spread by people that don't know the language. So anyway, let's continue on. Sorry, a little detour for that one.
Defund the police, Latinx. These are normal disagreements within any community. And I certainly would never want to shut that down because we're, again, for open minds.
Sure, okay.
And of course, we've had some disagreements on the issue of transgender rights. Let me just say quickly what my position is, because a lot of people outside of the network have been misleading you about this. So I'm for 100% constitutional rights for transgender Americans because why? They're Americans, just like the rest of us, and they should have the same exact rights as us.
I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely.
They should be protected in bathrooms. They should definitely be allowed to serve in the military. And I happen to think that they should be allowed to play, transgender girls should be allowed to play in girls' sports in high school. Now, my position on that is not overall.
And so here's the problem with what he's just laid out. He thinks that they should be allowed to compete in high school sports, but not in Olympic sports. The problem isn't that you won't take that extra step. It's that you fundamentally don't understand the argument. The situation is every reputable scientist in the world has determined, has studied and concluded, or every reputable scientist that has studied this subject has come to the conclusion through their research papers that after 2 years of HRT, the differences between what's the term? Oh my God, I'm looking for the term. Between people who were assigned female at birth and people who were assigned male at birth is like no different. There is no difference between the two after 2 years of HRT. And people can argue, well, organ size is different and, you know, lung capacity is different, fast twitch muscle fibers and all that. No, not really. Not after 2 years of HRT. Not in any of the studies that have been done. You're just contradicting science. Now, there are some areas like, I think long distance running, there's zero difference in chess or table tennis or whatever. Obviously, no difference. I think that there might be a slight difference in certain sports. And in those cases, I'm perfectly fine with going with what the league decides. But the problem is that Cenk assumes that there is a disparity. He assumes that trans people are stronger or have an unfair advantage otherwise in sports. Incorrectly. That is the Republican framing. So the fact that he is offering an olive branch by saying they should be able to compete in high school sports, I don't give a shit. I don't care if you're extending an olive branch. Why are you even agreeing to that? You shouldn't be agreeing to that if your position is they have an unfair advantage. It's only that he's trying to capitulate, obviously. It's like embarrassing and painful. I don't want you to meet me halfway and say they should be allowed to compete in high school sports. I want you to understand that there's no fundamental difference after 2 years of HRT. And if there is, we can examine those specific cases. I'm asking you to look at science rather than ideology. And he doesn't seem to get that.
All popular in the country. I understand that. And
by the way, the reason I picked 2 years of HRT is because that is what the scientific studies say. After 2 years, there is fundamentally no difference in most cases. Endurance training, long distance running, and things like that.
Now, my position on that is not overall popular in the country. I understand that, and I have a strategy for hopefully how to win on that in the long run. But I don't believe that they should be mandated to play in college and professional level. I think the leagues should get to make those decisions on their own.
Yeah, I think leagues should be allowed to make those decisions, and they are. I mean, the IOC and the NCAA, is that what it is? They've decided that trans people are allowed to compete with, after 2 years of HRT or whatever, because they had scientists do research to figure out if there's a benefit.
I think that that is a small disagreement. Obviously, others think that's a giant disagreement, but that's, again, not the issue here.
I don't think it's a giant disagreement. I think that you're looking at it through a right-wing lens. That's the issue. And incorrectly looking at it through a right-wing lens.
I think what the issue is when others, among the issues, is when others say, only my opinion is the correct one, the moral one, everyone who disagrees with me is unintelligent, immoral, collaborator, etc.
Well, I don't know that people are saying that, probably some, but I think the main issue is that you just don't understand and you refuse to understand. It's not about being immoral, it's about being incorrect.
We'll get to the specifics on Francesca in a second. I'm saying that generally. And that they speak for the left. Well, let's find out if they do speak for the left. This is a little bit of Francesca, a little bit of Emma Vigeland from Majority Report, and spliced in is the actual facts about what the American people think, and interestingly, what Democratic voters think. First, let's watch this.
So I don't know if TYT has a habit of putting up false information. I don't know. I'm not sure, maybe, but it wouldn't surprise me to find that, like, the country has a hard right position on most of this stuff. So I don't know what he thinks he's trying to prove with this. But anyway, the point is that he banned Francesca Fiorini, and I wanted to just, like, listen to her reaction to this, see what she says. Check this out. Hold on, how long have we been recording? Oh shit, my video got shut down. Hold on. So the first one was 2:13. Hang on one second, just got to write this down. 2:13. 2:07. 082 2:13. 00002. Where are we now? 15 minutes. Okay. 2:15. So we've been going for about 20 minutes or so on this one. I'd like to go a little bit longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah.
Someone and they swear that
Ooh, turn this up. Sorry, hang on.
all of their exes.
All right.
You know when you meet someone and they swear that all of their exes were psychos?
Absolutely, I do.
And then you slowly realize that, oh, wait, I'm talking to the person who was the problem in the relationship.
Yep.
Unrelatedly, the Young Turks. And I'm going to make this as brief as possible because there are a million far more important and pressing things going on right now as actual fascism. But to make it brief, Cenk Uygur, the head of TYT,
Dude, what are these subtitles?
recently hath forboten me from appearing on any TYT shows because, in part, I said that him capitulating to right-wing framing on many issues meant he was, quote, acting like a bitch.
I don't believe in name calling, actually, personally, and I try not to do that. Every now and then I get a little worked up and I call people names, but it's something that I work hard not to do, A. And B, she put it perfectly. She said,
because, in part, I said that him capitulating to right-wing framing.
Capitulating to right-wing framing. That's the problem. That's the point. It's that he doesn't seem to understand the arguments at all. He views this from a right-wing perspective, or a white-wing perspective if you prefer, incorrectly. And as a result, makes all kinds of far-right assumptions about situations and tries to extend an olive branch. That is the only thing anchoring him to the left at all right now, it seems, is the fact that he's trying to reach an olive branch out to the left. It's like he's already like right-wing in a lot of ways, and he's just trying to hold on to his left-wing grip just a little bit. That's it.
On many issues meant he was, quote, acting like a bitch. And the truth is, he was. And I'll explain that a little bit later. But first, some backstory. So I have been a contractor at TYT for 10 years now. appearing on all of the shows as a fill-in host, as a guest host during election coverage, on the TYT main show, on the Damage Report, and on Indisputable, along with a lot of other shows.
Damage Report is with John Iadarola. He was a main host on TYT for a long time, and that's whose show specifically she was banned from going on. John Iadarola is an independent person that runs an independent show, but he's, I believe, paid by TYT every month to just run the show. So it's got, I don't know, 1 million subbies or somewhere in there. I have no clue. A lot. And it's his show, The Damage Report with John Iadarola. But TYT is paying him a monthly salary rather than him getting paid from YouTube, from AdSense. Is going into TYT. He would be a multi-millionaire right now, if not for the fact that he worked under TYT's umbrella. And as a result, she can't go on that show now.
Have always hopped on at the last minute, always helped out in a pinch. I guest host last minute, and yes, I was paid. And if you're watching this and you are a TYT contributor and you are not getting paid, stop going on TYT until you do.
Absolutely, 100%. Do not do anything for free, ever. You know, another right-wing framing that really bothered me with Cenk when I first, started looking into this. He said he has 75 families to feed as a business owner. That bothers me so much. I can't stand it. You, as the capital owner, don't have 75 mouths to feed. Those 75 people have your mouth to feed. What are you contributing to all of this? Couple decisions here or there. Some people, executing your will or whatever for the company, and how maybe you get some editing done in there somewhere. Those 75 people are contributing a hell of a lot more to the company than you are. Like when a landlord says this, what is a landlord really contributing to society? Nothing. They're sitting on their fat ass while I am working to pay them for nothing. I'm paying them because they own something. I'm paying them because they have money already, is what's happening. They are leeches on society. And you know what? I'm not opposed to home ownership. I'm not opposed to even renting. People need to rent homes. I'm okay with that. But don't frame it like you are providing for me. I am providing for you. Anyway, that bothers me a lot with Cenk. He's also fought unions with TYT a lot, and that's the very right-wing thing to do.
I've never been a full-time employee, never got health care, never got maternity leave when I had my child. But back in 2018, I was hired for a 6-month contract to pilot a show for $3,000 a month. Then, however...
Damn, that's good.
However, their funding bottomed out, and I was let go. And they broke their contract. My reps at the time thought I should sue to get the full 6 months of payment and work that I was owed, but I didn't, because I told them that TYT was good people, and I wanted to maintain my relationship.
So she forwent her money to maintain this relationship. This is what companies do. This is what business owners do. No matter how left-wing, they tend to cut people's throats and step on their faces. And for that reason, there needs to be regulation to protect against that type of shit.
And I did. That is until things started to turn for TYT politically. And this started happening around the pandemic. Around the pandemic, Anna Kasparian seemed to become focused on the issue of homelessness, especially in a city that I used to call home, which is San Francisco. She had an objectively scary experience with an unhoused person, and in fact, I went back to see when she told her audience about this. And I do remember the day that Anna told the story on air. In fact, I was also on after she told that story.
Oh, shit.
But I didn't hear it at the time. It was within an interview that she was doing with an author by the name of Michael Schellenberger, who had written the book San Francisco, Why Progressives Are Ruining Cities. Instead of focusing on housing...
What, did they mute it because she said San Francisco? Is that what it was?
after she told that story, but I didn't hear it at the time. It was within an interview that she was doing with an author by the name of Michael Schellenberger, who had written the book San Francisco, Why
Yeah, I think San Francisco is what it seems like, right? Clever name.
Progressives Are Ruining Cities. Instead of focusing on housing market prices, on how homelessness often leads to things like addiction and mental illness, Schellenberger focuses on Democrats who thinks go too easy on the unhoused. I remember that I jumped onto the show right after he got off, after that interview, and the TYT audience was really pissed because they felt like the framing and the platforming of someone like Schellenberger was a disservice to the issue of homelessness, mental illness, and addiction. Anna apparently took that as the chat downplaying what happened to her rather than how the issues were presented. She's since gone on right-wing shows like Glenn Beck, Piers Morgan, and Jillian Michaels.
Yeah, like I have no like issue with people on the left going on these shows, of course, and I'm sure Francesca doesn't either. It's just when those are the only shows you're going on and there's like no arguing going on, no disagreements to speak of, or very few. When you are trying to like build a bridge and find commonality, you're rehabilitating their reputation effectively among your audience, and that's doing a lot of damage, like a lot. And on top of that, you know, I would have a problem with that alone, but of course Anna is moving far right. She is on the right now, openly, effectively. I don't even think, I think she is open about saying, yes, I am a right wing now. It's just sad.
Among others, to retell this story and use it as rationale for why she feels the left left her, that maybe she's never been left, why she's politically homeless, or, sorry, politically unhoused. Since then, she's gone on to cover critical stories from a right-wing framing, like the alleged takeovers of buildings by Venezuelan gangs in Aurora, Colorado, like the mentally...
Yeah, that was just a lie, I understand. I looked into this, and that was just like fabricated nonsense. I believe that the building was like this close to being condemned. In fact, I think it was condemned because it was such a mess and the owner wasn't like taking care of anything or doing anything. And some dude, some criminal got moved into this little apartment there and wouldn't leave or something. I don't even know. Like, that shit happens. That's not an indication of a systemic countrywide like takeover of criminal gang. Blah, blah, blah. It's just nonsense. It's all nonsense.
Like the alleged takeovers of buildings by Venezuelan gangs in Aurora, Colorado, like the mentally ill, undocumented man in Los Angeles who was found lighting fires, but who was not responsible for the wildfires themselves in January.
Yeah, these people on the right, particularly Anna, like to find exceptions and pretend that they are the rules. Like some random homeless guy lights a fire, and suddenly it's homeless people are responsible for all wildfires. Or the fire budget in one particular municipality is cut, but the overall fire budget for the surrounding area was raised. So you've got a like net much higher firefighting budget, but they pick this one little municipality out and they say, well, look, they cut the fire budget. California cut the fire budget by all of this money, completely ignoring all of the money that it was raised by. The exception becomes the rule.
Throwing progressive mayors like Brandon Johnson of Chicago under the bus because he listens to teachers too much. Anna's actually really skilled at what she does, so the laziness with which she treats these stories really just stands out all the more. Let me give you some backstory, though, of Anna and my friendship. We've never been close, despite a hike,
Anyway, yeah, I guess I'll stop there. Anyway, really fascinating stuff that, like, this is happening right now. And I'm disappointed as hell that Cenk Uygur is going down this ridiculous road. And I'm even more disappointed that he doesn't even seem to, like, know what's wrong. He doesn't understand what, like, people are even complaining about. He can't even begin to fix it because he has no clue. And it's like, how could you not know what's wrong here? How could you not know that Trans people have no statistical advantage at all after 2 years of HRT, for example. How could you not know that? How could you not know what people meant when they said defund the police? Were you not listening? Do you have gummy bears in your ears? What's going on? Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. I'm really sad to see an ostensibly left-wing network go away. All right. There was something else I wanted to look up here. Hang on. Oop. Didn't mean to hit that button. Wait. Hold on. Oh, you know what makes me really sad? Billy Corgan is just a far-right nutcase. Have you guys seen this before? You seen this? This dude is... The moment that the acid kicks in is what I think this should be titled. I'm not sure if it has a title. Dude, what is happening with this guy right now? Oh my God, dude. The moment the acid kicks in. Holy Christ. Anyway, yeah. Okay. There's a little aside there. I'm just looking something up real fast. Hold up. Wow, did you know the Good Liars only have 291,000 subbies? I thought it was higher than that. Fascinating. Damn, I was hoping for some... Oh, looks like they got some bangers here. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Good Liars, but they are so funny, dude. They go to, like, Trump rallies and stuff, and they ask people hilarious questions. Let's check out some of their shorts on YouTube.
Roe v. Wade was 52 years ago. We're coming up on the anniversary of it. Do you consider yourself pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-life, yeah.
And what are your thoughts on gay people?
They're, according to the Bible says they're dogs or they're brute beasts, but it never
Oh boy, here we go. No, it doesn't, but okay.
once says they're worthy of life. I mean, the Bible's pretty explicit on it. Romans 1 says the government should put them to death. Romans 1, that's Bible.
And do you
No, there's complete nonsense. He's talking about the verse that says fornicators, adulterers, and so on and so forth. That verse was actually referring to not gay people, but those that idolize other things. Bible scholars across the world agree on that fact. Even Christian Bible scholars recognize that it was talking about idolatry, not being gay. The word used there is called a hapax legomenon, which is a word that's never used anywhere else, pretty much, except for that exact spot in history in that one text. So they don't really know exactly what it means, but they can infer meaning from, like, basically the context around it and what the combination of the words was and everything else. Anyway, the point is, it's a very complex thing to translate a Bible, and people wanted the Bible to be anti-gay, so they wrote that in the 1800s, changed Romans 1:13 or whatever it is. Romans 13:1 or whatever it is. They wrote that into that verse to make it seem like gay people are evil. But okay.
Do you believe that?
Absolutely, I believe the Bible.
And you're pro-life?
Yes.
Okay. Roe v. Wade.
Okay.
The mass shootings are because why?
Because we have the Second Amendment that allows us to have guns. A lot of countries don't have the power to get guns as easily as we can, and that's the reason, because there's more
So
guns.
the mass shootings are because of...
More guns, more people.
I love it, dude. You're not supposed to say that out loud. This is the logical conclusion of conservative ideology on gun ownership. The logical conclusion. If there are more guns around, there will be more attacks. That's just a fact of the world. And she admits it here. I love that.
And if you have more guns, more people, more crazy people that have guns, stuff happens. I wouldn't blame the gun. You got to blame.
But you're that's the reason for more gun control, is that more guns, more crazy people, more bad things happen.
I mean, when a crazy person with a gun comes in, how do you take them out?
the police, more people die. All right, you know how you take them out? All right, let me rephrase. You know how you deal with that issue? Reduce the number of guns in the country. That's how you do it. I don't even want like to confiscate people's guns. You know what I want? I want to make it so that people can sell their guns back to the government if they choose. And I want to create a licensing program so that you have to be certified and licensed. Like, it has to be as difficult to buy a gun as it is to buy a car, at least. Right now, it is not.
Another gun.
So your answer to the gun issue would be more guns, more people carrying guns.
The answer is not actually somebody else with a gun. That adds to the chaos and causes more death. But okay, whatever.
What are your thoughts on abortion?
On abortion? I'm pro-life, so.
Pro-life? And if there could be more gun control that could save children's lives, would you want to pass that gun control?
How would that save children's lives?
Well, just hypothetically, I imagine, right, is what he's saying?
The mass shootings, guns. Guns is the leading cause of death for children in America.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Yes, it is? Like, are you really disagreeing with factual information?
You know, it is. It is.
No, it's not.
Guns is the leading cause of death for children in America.
Okay, but that's... Thank you.
He's trying to escape it. He's trying to get out of this conversation.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on
God, dude.
Would you like to see contraceptives banned in America?
Again, what needs to happen is hearts and minds need to change. I think
After hearts and minds change,
I love it.
Would you like to see contraceptives banned in America?
yes, yeah.
Would you like to see?
You know what I find fascinating? These people have contradictory, conflicting beliefs. You can't simultaneously believe that abortion is evil and also want to ban birth control. It's nonsensical. Why would you want to ban birth control? What? Increasing birth control decreases abortion. But we have people like this woman right here who want to do all of it. This is... I don't want to call this woman a fascist. Maybe she is. I don't know. But this is a fascist mindset anyway. Force things to conform to your ideological beliefs. We want to destroy Social Security, just hypothetically. You know, Elon Musk wants to cut Social Security into the ground. Republicans want to cut it into the ground. But it's responsible for keeping untold numbers of elderly people out of poverty. I think the poverty rate among the elderly before Social Security is 30%, and now it's 10% or something like that. A ton of people are saved from poverty. So they want to cut Social Security, but they also want to like make it more difficult for homeless people to survive. They want to cut programs that would help the homeless. Why would you support both of those things simultaneously? The fascist mindset is one where you solve a problem by eliminating it and ignoring the consequences completely.
Contraceptives banned in America.
Something people are talking about, Project 2025. If these policies are implemented, there would be a national abortion ban. The Justice Department would be an instrument of the president.
I think this is a little bit of an older one because all of this happened.
And, of course, this would be the only cereal that anybody is allowed to eat.
Trump cereal? Are you shitting me? Is this real? Please tell me Trump cereal is real. I want to know. Oh my God, it's real. Oh my God. I am so tempted to buy some. Should I buy some? They have a word search on the back. I don't think the people... All right, hang on. Let me pull it up so you guys can see too. All right, I'm going to, in the final product, splice this over top of the screen share so that you guys can see what I'm looking at while I'm talking. They have a word search on the back. Look. The word search on the back. Wow, this website really sucks. It's like terrible. Are Trump supporters smart enough to do this word search thing? Oh my God, I so want to get it. It's so stupid and ridiculous. What's this? Okay, standing in front of a look, and the brand is MAGA. It's MAGA brand cereal. Standing in front of a Trump cereal box, which is also in front of Trump Tower. Oh my God, dude. I'm bookmarking this because I may just come back to it.
One of those is not true. Google Project 2025 and find out which. Something people are talking about. Hey, JD, I got your book.
Okay.
And
Oh my God, I remember this. Yes, JD Vance was up there on stage giving a talk or whatever, and he comes up and starts doing this, like right in the middle of his speech.
I just had one question for you.
Can I finish my remarks first?
Yeah, I just want to know if I could get a refund. I didn't like the book very much.
All right. There we go.
$16.99.
You're gonna go.
$21 in Canada. It just wasn't that good. I didn't find the the main character wasn't very likable.
I remember driving.
The main character wasn't likable. He was the main character, JD Vance. That's really good. It wasn't a fiction book. It was nonfiction. That's funny, man. These people are the best. I love The Good Liars. They're really funny sometimes.
I remember driving down the road and kind of just like an offhanded comment, just like, oh, hey, look, JD Vance is having a rally. And we kind of like go past it, like not
Why
even
were we
thinking to
in
pass it.
Ohio again?
We were just sightseeing.
We were sightseeing. We were on a sightseeing
vacation.
trip.
We were on vacation.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this was a little while ago. I'm trying to remember exactly. We were on vacation.
A woman named Amanda Zarowski. She's in Texas, and she.
Rusky. Wow, that is a word that I haven't heard since I read about World War II in great detail. That's the German word for Russian.
She needed abortion care when she was suffering some serious pregnancy complications. She was actually sent home from the ER to get sicker because her doctor could not legally help her until she was basically on her deathbed.
Okay, yeah, that happens.
So she almost died.
She's talking about abortion, right? Is that? I'm sorry, let me choose. Woman named Amanda, suffering serious. Yeah, okay.
Died because of these pro-life laws that were put into effect?
Yeah, she nearly lost her life. She said it was the sickest she'd ever been, and she really came close. And she's not alone. She's one of, I think, like a dozen plaintiffs who sued the state actually because she came so close to dying. And unfortunately, actually, as a result of what she went through, she is going to have to consider other options for building her family moving forward.
For the pro-life people, having someone almost die and then also now not be able to have children, it sounds like the opposite of pro-life.
Yeah, a woman named.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 100% true. And this isn't an edge case. Like a lot of the times, MAGA nutcases like to take an exception and blow it up into a rule. Like, I don't know. Some homeless person was lighting fires, just some random guy. And they infer from that the wildfires in California are the result of homeless people en masse lighting fires. It's just not true. It's not how anything works. It's just nonsense. They turn an exception into a rule. That is not what's happening here. This is widespread. Mass suffering and devastation as a result of like the abortion ruling.
Well, that's what
weeks after they're born, you can kill them.
I'm sorry.
Are you shitting me right now? 4 weeks after a baby is born, you can kill them. This type of thing is so delusional that it makes me wonder how we got here, and makes me realize that there there is nothing that's going to pierce this bubble until Fox News is shut down. There's nothing that will stop this radicalization of Americans until this constant stream of propaganda is stopped. It is just like, it is wild that people would believe such a thing.
Well, that's
And they believe it completely uncritically. Like they didn't even ask themselves, is this real? Should I check this? They just accept it. Whoever they're listening to, they trust with their lives, apparently, even more.
well, that's
That's
what
weeks after they're born, you can kill them.
I'm sorry, I gotta take a moment here. You're saying that in California you can kill a newborn baby up to 4 weeks until after it's born?
Absolutely.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not
They
true.
passed the law in the last year or two.
That is
No, they didn't. Notice how he's kind of vague about last year or two. No. There's no law like that. Never been a law like that. Nobody was ever wanted that. Nobody. Jesus.
not true. That's not true.
You need to go do your
That's
research.
100% not true.
You need to do your
Where
research.
did you read that? Be honest.
National news media.
Post-birth abortion. Can you tell me where you read it?
It's been a while.
I've read it so many places I can't name them all. No.
It's hard to name them all right now.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
In some liberal states, you actually have to in some liberal states, you actually have post-birth abortions. Just delusion on a scale I can't even touch. Like I said in another video recently, if or when Democrats take the presidency and or the House or the Senate or the judicial branch or whatever, when they take those back, we need to be absolutely ruthless in passing laws and judicial decisions that prevent any of this insanity from happening ever again. And that includes reinstituting a fairness doctrine for TV. You talk about a political figure, a political candidate, or whatever, you have to give equal time to that candidate's opponent or to that party's opposition. Reagan destroyed the fairness doctrine, and this is the result 30, 40 years later. This started forming out in the 90s, even earlier. This insane bubble that Fox News viewers are in.
We're here outside the RNC, and a lot of people made a big deal about toning down the rhetoric. We're going to see some of the gear they're selling here.
Probably going to be some pretty level-headed stuff. I'll read that for you. It says, "Not my president," and then it says, "Fuck Biden," and the fuck is made of guns.
That's toning down the rhetoric, all right.
Yeah, when you start late-term aborting children or aborting them after they've been born, that's nuts.
It is so wild to me that people really believe this shit. This is so insane.
Aborting them after they've been born?
Yes.
You think that's happening?
It is. It does.
No, it doesn't. Who said this? Was it like Tucker Carlson one day that just blurted this out or something? And now everybody from here to Texas is repeating it?
I don't think that's happening.
Well,
aborting children after they're born wouldn't be called abortion, though, right?
Well, they still call it abortion.
What would they? That would be called murder.
Well, not according to the left.
I don't think that abortions are happening after babies are born.
Why don't you look into it?
They're not even happening in the second trimester. They never were. The hard line with Roe v. Wade was 20 weeks. After 20 weeks, you cannot get abortions. That was the law. The only exception to that is if you are in a medical emergency where you are dying and you have no choice, or the baby's going to die, or there's no brain, like hydroencephalus, like it's literally just a head full of water or whatever. The baby absolutely will not survive. It's not going to happen. Those are the only cases in which you could get an abortion beyond 20 weeks, and it had to be approved by like doctors and stuff. Nobody was getting one beyond 20 weeks. And honestly, something like 76% or something of the abortions that took place happened before 10 weeks. That's when it's nearly still microscopic. Okay, you can't even see anything. It's just a grouping of cells when most of these abortions were had. And Republicans, or more accurately, Fox News and the MAGA movement, has spun that up into they're aborting them after they're born. It is such an absurd, ridiculous claim that I can't believe that they would even say it.
That's the whole thing. You have to study out the issues and see what's really happening.
Could I ask where you read it?
You see a lot of propaganda, and it's getting harder and harder with AI for you to be able to determine what's true and what's not.
Wow, but this guy has the beat on what's true, right? And he says post-birth abortion is 100% true.
I agree.
And it's going to get a lot harder.
Do you think that what you read could have been propaganda?
Not if you study the facts out. Yeah, when you.
What facts did you read? This is absolute insanity.
Do you think God is pro-life?
God's word is life.
In the Bible, do you know the passage where God specifically mentions abortion?
Tell me.
Oh my God. Numbers 5:11-23, and he is in favor of abortion. He says you should get abortions in certain circumstances, like your wife cheated on you, for example. This specific verse set is called the test for an unfaithful wife. So God is in favor of abortion. At no point anywhere ever does the Bible come out against it. It is only ever in favor of abortion.
Let me pull it up. Okay, ready?
Wait, why is there silence?
That's it.
Okay, that's good. That's funny. No, it does mention it. He probably should have said it. He probably should have said Numbers 5:11-23.
Did you have a scripture you were going to bring up?
No, he knows what he's doing.
Oh, I was just reading the part of the Bible where God talks about abortion.
Oh, okay.
Because he doesn't specifically mention abortion once in the Bible.
Oh, that is a sick burn. Oh my God. Just standing there, dead silence.
Did you have any other questions, sir?
Oh my God, dude, that's the best. You know, anybody else that wasn't operating, all right. There is an ideological answer to this. The ideological answer is God condemns murder, and we believe that life begins at conception. Is there a reason to believe that? No, there isn't. But, I mean, not even biblical. But, you know, God is against murder, and so they stretch the definition of human and all that other stuff. This guy isn't even operating off of, like, ideology logic. Like Jehovah's Witnesses, when I was a Jehovah's Witness, we learned the scriptures. We were able to answer questions and people asked them in great detail. This guy isn't even doing that. He's just claiming it and saying, yeah, I believe this, with absolutely no underpinning whatsoever. Oh my God. This is wild.
Well, I saw it last night with my own eyes with Nikki Haley standing up on stage. Previous presidential candidates like Ron DeSantis, 2016 candidates like Ted Cruz. The party is together.
And is Mike Pence here at the RNC?
I haven't seen him.
Oh, God. I don't know which year this was, but this is almost certainly after Donald Trump said Mike Pence betrayed us. And people were hunting for him to put him on the noose, which was hung up outside of the Capitol. So that doesn't seem very unified. To me, that seems like Donald Trump commandeering the party and forcing people to conform to his will.
Well,
God, dude.
Donald Trump still has not said that he lost the last election.
Be able to lose the last election. The people lost. We were the ones that should have some kind of lawsuits against all of these administrative people up there and have it for treason. And you know what the punishment for treason is? Hang on the square.
Okay. Treason is giving aid or comfort to an enemy. That is not what happened. Do you mean sedition? Do you mean insurrection? I mean, these are all different things. They're different words that have different meanings, and you need to use them correctly. Anyway, she's arguing this because the claim is that the judges threw out all of the legal cases because they didn't have standing. And, you know, the people are the ones that were wronged in this whole situation. It's just legal nonsense that some ridiculous TV lawyer who knows the TV pillow salesman came up with. It doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, it's sad to me that these people are so gone in their heads that they really bought all of this election nonsense. This is what I'm talking about. That bubble is unpierceable. That Fox News bubble. Like, Fox News did more damage to United States society than anything ever, including, I would argue, I would have to think about this more, but I'm going to argue, including cancer, HIV, greenhouse gases, all combined. I would argue it has done more damage to society than even that. More deaths may be attributable.
Let's do that and see if we don't change some of this garbage.
What do you think about the rhetoric these days? You think there's an issue with the rhetoric?
Because she just said you should hang if you disagree with Trump's loss or something. I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, step back. Hold on.
What do you think about the rhetoric these days? You think there's an issue with the rhetoric?
Yes. Yes.
She literally just said people should hang in a public square. And she's saying that there's a problem with the rhetoric. Is there anything that will pierce that lead ball you call a head? Anything. Anything at all. That is wild. Let's watch a couple more because I would like to get about 5 more minutes in.
Is law and order really important to you?
Absolutely, especially when we live in
I'm voting felon 2024 is what his shirt says.
not some great areas over in St. Louis that need to be cleaned up. So
he says he cares about law and order while wearing a shirt that says I'm voting felon. Are you shitting me right now? Is this real? The answer is yes, it is.
Important to obey the laws?
Absolutely.
And the shirt says I'm voting felon.
2024.
And what does that mean?
Well, he was convicted, but not that I believe it. I believe the last election was rigged too. So.
Oh my God, dude. How do we get into the election being rigged? We were talking about him having criminal charges. How are those things connected?
All right, so law and order, but you're voting for a felon.
Yes, sir.
God, dude, they're just gone. Their heads are gone.
We are here outside Trump Tower, and just yesterday, Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felonies right here in Manhattan. And it's a really tense time for America, and we also understand if Donald Trump is feeling a little down right now.
That's right. That's why we'd like to extend to him one complimentary ticket to our live show on June 6th at Zany's in Nashville, Tennessee.
Sorry, Doyle, I hate to correct you here, but it's one half price ticket, not
one half price ticket.
complimentary ticket.
Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. It was just an ad, obviously.
The radical left wants President Trump to simply
Lori,
go
could
away.
you sign? Could you give me an autograph here?
Oh my God, dude. The apple bag, dude. The twig and berries on these guys.
We're here outside the Trump trial right now in Lower Manhattan, and we want to remind you we have a live show coming up in Washington, D.C. at Union Stage on May 23rd. The Good Liars Fix America. We're going to solve all of America's problems. Plus, we're going to screen never-before-seen videos.
I'm going to cut the ads out. They're not relevant.
It's going to be an amazing time. Right,
That's
DeBrum?
right. Be there.
All right. Is this real? Is this whole thing an ad?
That Michael Cohen is not lied to. He lied to investigators. He lied to...
Oh my God. He asked her to sign his Beetlejuice playbill. I love that shit. Because she famously got caught, how do I say this politely? picking the twig and berries of a close male friend. Is that might be the best way to say it. She's caught on video doing that in a movie theater while watching Beetlejuice. Oopsie daisy. Just picked a whole bouquet of oopsie daisies on that one, huh?
Lauren, I'm a huge fan. You mind if I just get your autograph?
Oh, that's good. I like that a lot. That's really funny. There's another minute or two of this.
God hates CPAC. Cancel the CPAC show.
There's a man dressed in makeup in there, and he's dancing to the Village People. It's
It's Trump. He's talking about Trump.
very, very disturbing. Is Trump speaking?
Yes.
Really? Yes. That's terrible.
Well, he's in there doing a performance, right? With his dyed hair.
Careful. There's a guy in makeup on stage.
So
Don't go in there
Okay.
if you care about children.
Okay. Because the other side cares about children? About drag queens going to schools?
It's exactly what we're talking about. There's somebody in makeup with lifts on.
Do I dictate how you treat your kids? Do I tell you what church?
But you were just saying you didn't want people to be at a drag show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
what. Yeah, so we're
Exactly.
saying we don't want people to see this show. If you go in there, you're gonna burn in hell for all of eternity. That's on you. And I can't believe they bring kids to an event like this.
Yeah, and the fact that it's open to anybody and he's in there acting like that, looking like that, you know?
It's terrible.
Oh my God, these guys are the best. That is so funny. Tell me what you think in the comments. Editing note: I want to split the Good Liars clips up into 2 videos. Probably the abortion videos in one, and then the rest in a second one. Yeah, I think that'll work. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. I was supposed to do another video, but that's okay. I'll figure that out on Wednesday, probably on Unfiltered. All right, talk to you guys on Wednesday then. Have a good